Facebook.
Yes, sir.
All right.
So this is
I'll
the
check
preview
YouTube.
of the preview. And it's been an interesting morning out here in Baytown. We'll tell you all about it when we actually hit the air momentarily. And actually, it's about 30 seconds. So if you'll just stand by with us. I don't like going on this early, but due to technical difficulties, we're doing this to please Jeff Zekin and David Ainsley. No one else,
And
not even you. So just bear with us.
Hey, Jeff, you want to look at the shot because I'm looking at an empty chair.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There you go.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us, and here we go. Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In Wheel Time Car Show. Today coming to you from the NHRA Spring Nationals at Houston Raceway Park in Baytown, Texas, baby. We got guests from the professional drag racing circuit lined up for you during this 4-hour, extra long, extra special show today. We'll review our new car of the week, the 2021 Ford Ranger. We'll take a look at the events calendar and bring you this week's auto news headlines that include the weatherman.
Ooh.
That and more just ahead on today's In Wheel Time Car Show. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeff Zekin, David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong, so glad that you could join us today. And sitting in the hot seat is the head of all of this shenanigan stuff going on out here at Houston Raceway Park, and that would be Mr. Seth Angel.
Hey, good morning, guys. Great to be on.
Mike?
Glad to have it.
Mike managed right away to trip over wires, and did you unplug something?
No, we're
Are you dead?
working on the
You
light.
alive? Okay. Seth Angel is here, and my goodness, what a week.
It's been challenging to say the least, but
Yeah.
we're here. The gates are open.
Did you get any sleep last night?
I don't think I've gotten any sleep the entire week.
Oh, wow.
I know. I can only imagine. Dude, is there something about this race with the weather?
Time of the year.
It would
It would appear that way.
It would appear that it is, but what I can tell you is that, look, we're committed to this race. When we set the dates, we committed to running it this weekend.
Yeah.
And the weather is something we can't control, and so we'll adapt and adjust and make the best of the situation. What I can tell you and tell our fans is that in 22 we will be back in April. The only reason we're here today in May is just because the series got a later start, and to kind of fall into the right slot, we had to kind of push our race back to this May window.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
And we're happy to have the event, though.
Well, so are we.
That's
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's certainly been a challenging year, hasn't it?
It is, but I will tell you, since things have started to open back up, since we kind of launched our 21 season, we've had a really, really hot start. Since we started opening up on our Friday street nights, our Texas 2K streetcar race was massive. It's the biggest one we've ever hosted, and so everything was aligning to be really, really good and really strong, and we could feel and sense that the consumer confidence was back. People were ready to get out and get going and go racing. And so, we were leading up into this week, and I'll tell you, when the rain started, things kind of started to slow down. But leading up to this race this weekend, we were on pace to have a really, really spectacular race weekend. And the reality is we still will. It's just that, people today, when they get up in the morning and they pull their curtains back, if the sun's not shining, they're going to think twice about it. And so for us, that's a challenge we deal with. But we're going to have a great race day today. That's our goal is to get 2 rounds of qualifying in. I think we will. I'm sure we'll have to adjust and do a few rain dances here and there and dodge some showers. But we've got all the equipment in the world to do that. And so whether we do it on schedule at noon and 4 or we push it back, we'll get it in.
Yeah. Well, and that's one thing that I just found out from John Persida, who's handling our Toyota guests today, that the qualifying first round has gone from 12:45 to noon. And I assume that that's because of the weather and everything else.
Yeah, so no, it's not uncommon to push up the posted schedule to when you're looking at the forecast. You just have to be realistic to the situation that is dealt when you wake up in the morning. And so, look, our goal is to give our fans two rounds of professional qualifying today. We think we can get that done. And so by moving it up an hour, that buys us an extra hour maybe in the evening if we have to get there. then I think it's time well spent.
Well, you know, having done this on a professional drag racing tour, I'm a little familiar with all of that. And I remember several races that I attended with the Valvoline Top Fuel team that we had some challenging issues with weather across the United States. There was one in particular, it was somewhere over in the Northeast. I don't recall specifically which one it was, but a day similar to this, it poured all day long. And then at 5 o'clock, the skies opened and they raced until midnight.
Oh, wow.
To get 2 rounds of qualifying in. And it did just fine. And the fans stayed.
Yeah, so look, we've got all the staff here we need to accommodate our fans from the time they get here to the time they leave, and you know, they may be here a little bit longer than what they were planning on, but you know, at the end of the day, that's okay because you know we're going to go.
You get to listen to the nitro cars,
that's
right?
It's race weekend.
Yeah, something happens when you start smelling that nitro. Things just kind of you know, change for you.
Yeah.
Well, and
the clouds part.
overcast like this, you can see the flames a little bit better. You know, it's a whole different vibe than being out in the bright sunshine.
Yeah, it is. But look, nobody wants you know, clear skies and sunshine more than me.
Yep.
You know, and unfortunately, we're not going to get that. But you know, it can't rain all day.
Well, but there's a lot of people watching the weather, and because of that, it's why you've moved up nitro to starting at noon as well, because they're looking at what's out in the Gulf headed this way, so they're trying to get ahead of it.
Actually, that actually made landfall a little while ago, south of here.
Yeah, down in Corpus Christi area or south.
Well,
So-
that's a long ways away.
I will tell you, I'm watching the weather forecast last night, and I heard something as it relates to a weather forecast that I've never heard, a term, and it was called a dry slot.
Yeah, I heard that too. I'm going,
And
what?
I looked at some of my folks on our team, and I said, have you guys ever heard of a dry slot when it comes to weather? But, hey, we had one, and
We'll take it.
We'll take that dry slot.
We'll take that dry slot.
A dry slot. It's going to be a new meteorological term, and we're going to
Use
debut
it.
it right here at Houston Raceway Park today. So when the sky opens up and it's nice and clear, that, you know, whatever window that is,
Right over the
we
track.
can look at each other and say, the dry slot.
We're in the dry slot.
With your permission, we can use that as the word of the day.
Yeah, hashtag dry slot.
Yeah, I didn't bring the bell for the word of the day, but that's a good one, the dry slot. So I haven't, and I don't know if we've got any actual NHRA officials coming. I know last year we talked to the president of NHRA, Glenn Cromwell, and I'm sure that he's here. And, you know, what a challenge this has been in the past year for everything, but especially the NHRA Professional Drag Racing Tour. I mean, because each state has their own procedures as to, you know, mask, no mask.
And they're always changing.
And there's, you know, you have to be separated in the grandstands, all of that stuff. You're not having to deal with any of that now, are you?
No, and we're very, very lucky and fortunate to be great.
Texas, USA,
be
baby.
Texans. You know, look, we've got a great governor and a great state, and he's made the right call, and we, his message we're aligned with 100%. And so, look, we're here. We have, you know, we're not tethered to any rules or regulations. You know, we want people to be respectful and safe.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, we're not in a position where we feel it's necessary to mandate masks for social distancing. If you want to do that, you're certainly welcome to.
And you can't take alcohol in and out of the Top Eliminator Club. I read that somewhere.
Well, that is not a Houston Raceway Park rule. It's a TABC rule.
You know that I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, but no, look, in the big picture, there are a lot of stakeholders when it comes to not only this event but the entire series.
Right.
When it comes to the NHRA, and you know, another big part of that stakeholder mix is the teams. You
Right.
got to have the teams, and so for them, you know, they have to be healthy and strong and put on a good product on the track because that's what keeps the fans coming back. And so, look, I've had probably more conversations with Glenn Cromwell and the president of the NHRA this week than I probably have ever had before, just because we've been dealing with, you know, scenarios and what happens. Do we push this back to Memorial Weekend, which, you know, was in play for a good portion of yesterday and then even on Thursday. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, we felt since everyone was already here, we had most of the teams parked, most of our campground parked, and we felt like, you know, we would just it was better if we ran it this weekend, regardless of the situation and the circumstance, than maybe pushing it back to next weekend. Because at the end of the day, that is a very problematic scenario for a lot of reasons. Logistics, the teams, hotels, families, all of our vendors that are supporting the event. And so you can't just say, oh, let's just go there, and it's just simple. Everyone just goes home for 5 days and returns.
Sure.
It's not that easy.
Right.
We would have done that. We would have been.
Yeah, but I think going home for us is a little easier than
That's
going
true.
home for everybody else.
Yeah.
But that's why there's a dry slot right over the top of us.
So
Ding,
Mars
ding.
Mars calls me in a panic yesterday afternoon after he dropped off the equipment on the way back to Neaterville and says, are the teams going to be here in the morning? I said, I guarantee you that every single member of every team that's racing this weekend will be here in the morning. I'm correct, am I not?
Yeah, they've been here. Look, they're set up. I've spoken with most of them. They're excited. They're here. They're excited to race, and they, like us, are really glad that we've stuck it out and are going to get the show in today and tomorrow.
Well, this track, of all of the tracks across the United States, always turns out the best times. We're almost at sea level.
Right.
Boy,
and depending on the air, sometimes we're below sea level, and that's where all the records show. This has traditionally always been the record-setting event.
Depending on the water
I will
grains.
tell you, all this is true, but I will tell you we will not have mine shaft conditions this weekend.
Mine shaft.
It's a little,
another one.
it's a little moist.
Yeah, there's another word for the day. Mine shaft and dry slot.
I love that.
No, look, yeah, you're right. We are just above sea level, and that by nature produces, the ability to create a lot of horsepower when the air is right. But, the cars are still going to go. I guarantee you'll have cars run over 320 miles an hour today and tomorrow. It may be a little wet in the air, but the cars are going to go down the track, and they're going to go fast.
Yeah. Well, the NHRA traditionally does such a great job in preparing the track, and always an important part of this. And this track is somewhat unique in the fact that there's a lot of concrete out there as opposed to asphalt on many of the tracks.
So our facility, our racetrack surface consists of 660 feet of concrete, then followed by another 660 feet of asphalt, and the shutdown area is all asphalt as well. As many people know, the most horsepower is applied to the car in the first 300, 400 feet,
right,
even into 600 feet. By 600 feet, these cars are going 260, 270 miles an hour. So to have that concrete, stable, great surface underneath them results in really, really incredible performance on the track.
What kind of car are you driving these days?
Well, I just got a new Tahoe.
Did you?
I'm not a race car guy.
Have you put the Tahoe on the track?
I have not, but and I probably won't.
Just for the heck
Not,
of it?
not just one afternoon, one Wednesday afternoon when
Don-
nobody's around.
Don, you don't understand. I've lived the last 15, almost 16 years of my life here. I've been down that racetrack more than probably anybody has
But
ever
not
been.
in the new Tahoe that
But
you
not in
just
the new
bought.
So, look, I love this sport. I've been around it. That's why I'm here
All your life.
all my life. It's what I know. It's the only thing I really know. But for me, it's about the people and about the experience and the partners and doing things like this to interact and socialize with our fans.
Well, I have to tell you, you are a pleasure to work with. And, if I ever need anything, I said, hey, man, you got any spots for us? Yeah.
And you are just so needy, Don.
I am needy. I am needy. No, but like Rochelle Salinas at the Houston Auto Show said yesterday, she says, we go for 9 months, 11 months without seeing each other. And then we see each other, and it's like, well, I just saw you last week. How you doing? Old friends.
Just talk to you about,
Yeah. So it's a real pleasure. And trust me, we go to lots of different places with our show, and not everybody is like you and Rochelle and a few others. I mean, this is truly a professionalism that's well thought of and highly respected, and it's a pleasure to work with you and have a great event like this and.
So well organized, too.
And have us a part of it. I mean, we're truly appreciative.
Well, again, we appreciate everything, all your support and and getting the word and spreading the message, not only for this race, but for all the things you do with your radio program. And it's a pleasure and honor to be here with you guys.
Thank you.
Long before I was within wheel time, I came out here for many, 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 many years. So,
well, this is our 34th annual, so 35 years. We opened the gates in 1988, and
I was here.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun for us.
So what's the future hold in the store?
Yeah, so look, I think it's no secret that that we sold the real estate that the racetrack sits on, but we've got a long-term lease in place, and so our plan is we'll be here next year, and we're working on the future past that, and trying to secure some things. But this is a great sport, and it's live sports is kind of surging back into the fold of everyday life.
Are you kidding? We're all dying for something to do.
And so that's why we're here. And so, look, we're working on things, things are forthcoming.
you need to expand and maybe put another track down towards like Sugarland or something. That'd be
that'd
be great.
I'm sure
That'd be
that's
awesome.
what he wants to do.
Probably not.
Yeah, no.
There was no
One is enough.
There was no hesitation at all.
He just smiled.
I've known him long enough till I can speak on his behalf. One is plenty.
Thanks,
He's
Don.
got that smile. He smiled.
Yeah, exactly. So we're expecting all of the professional classes today. Are the motorcycles here too?
The our Pro Stock motorcycle is not contesting this weekend. As part of their rotation, they were here in
Yes.
21 or 20, and so they'll be back next year. But we have both Top Fuel and Funny Car, Pro Stock. We have Top Fuel Harley. We have Top Alcohol Dragster, Top Alcohol Funny Car, Top Dragster, Top Sportsman, and Factory Stock.
Cool.
Yeah, and the factory stock thing that
That's
seems
really catching on.
It is, I think it's because fans can relate to the cars. They it's, if you ask me what a 1970 or 67 Plymouth Dart looked like, I probably couldn't tell you.
you
but
weren't born then.
Exactly, but I can tell you what what a Dodge
Don was
drag pack looks like.
Don was already driving
Or a
back
Cobra
then.
Jet. So
I'm interested to see what a 2021 Cadillac V
CT4.
cylinder, CT5,
Oh, CT5.
what that
okay.
would turn down the track.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
today's
we're
not
not
the
running
weekend.
it down there, I can tell you
Oh,
that.
gee
That's
whiz.
not going to happen. I don't think that Cadillac would appreciate it since it's their car.
We won't tell them.
Well,
Yeah.
I think we just did, so they'll be on the lookout.
Well, the interesting thing, though, Seth, is you guys are same weekend that they're running at COTA, but it looks like you're going to have a pretty good audience because I'm watching people are streaming in behind you. So I think it'll fill up for you today.
Yeah, and just so for the record, as I said when I first came on, this was not May is not where we want to be. We always want to be in April. That's
right.
where we are. That's where we belong. And so it just so happened because of the circumstance and with COVID and the start of the series pushing back to later in the year, this is really our only. I want to be
Space.
careful. Our slot,
Our dry
window,
slot.
our window to
The dry
kind
slot.
of place this event, and it just happened to be on the same weekend as NASCAR at COTA. And so, look, they're experiencing the same challenges we are.
Yeah.
And so, but I can assure our fans and NASCAR at COTA, we will not be on this weekend next year.
Well,
We
it's
will
not that it's not that too many weeks out. I mean, it's really 2.5, 3 weeks really from the last time you would have April date. So it's really not that far off.
but that's a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because now we're pushing the summer button
Right.
pretty hard right
Sure.
now.
Yeah. Look, next weekend is the first holiday of the summer. Summer's here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is not called the Summer Nationals. It's the Spring Nationals. And so we'll be back there. And
a little more
the
springish.
the mid-April time window next year.
Well, running in the middle of summer in Houston would be a little difficult when it's 105 degrees and 90% humidity out. So we're very happy to have it in the spring.
I want to talk to you about the fun side of things when when the NHRA Pro Series isn't here. So the Friday night drags, that's where I grew up. The
Yes.
Friday night drag races down at Houston International Raceway on the Gulf Freeway, and there might not be a lot of people in the stands because they're all in the pits working on the cars.
That's right. That's where the real enthusiasts are that are involved.
And how is that going?
It's going really, really well. From the first time we opened, we've been known to be open on Friday nights for legal street racing to get, people off the streets and onto the racetrack.
Right.
That's where this activity belongs. There's no place for it out on the streets of Houston and Texas. And so, we've got a great Friday night program. For one, it's relatively inexpensive. For $25, you can come out and race as many times as you want every Friday night that we're not doing a major event such as the one this weekend.
Right.
And, you can get all the track time you need and all the seat time you need. And it's in a controlled, monitored environment where
with safety crews around.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's what it's about. And you can't do that out on the street. So we've got a very robust Friday night street legal program. We've got a nice portfolio of just different style of events out here at the racetrack. So our fans can go to HoustonRaceway.com, just check out everything that we're doing. We're not just a racetrack. We host a big music festival in the fall every year. We do car shows. We do import style events.
I know that Cletus McFarland has been here.
Cletus McFarland, yeah.
Demolition drag racing.
You have to be creative, and you can't just continue to do the same thing over and over again, because that would be insane, right? So Cletus is really a massive draw. He's got an incredible audience on YouTube, and
kind of like us.
and us as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he brings a different crowd that maybe wouldn't come out to the racetrack. So it's when you kind of layer those types of things in with this NHRA Spring Nationals demographic, and we've got a nice big portfolio of events. And it's a lot of fun.
TX2K, you've had TX2K out here 5-6 years in a row now.
Well, so interesting. TX2K started here in 2000 on a Friday night, street night. Peter Block, who is the owner and founder of TX2K, was a big Toyota Supra guy and had a few guys that also had Toyota Supras, and they would come out and hang out on Friday nights here at Houston Raceway Park. So
and beat everybody up.
Exactly. And so that kind of evolved as, it kind of grew every year, and he just kind of had an annual TX2K with his Toyota club, Supra Club, at the racetrack. It then kind of it left here for a number of years and went to Hennessy and Lone Star Motorsports Park, and then Peter and I reconnected in about seven years ago, and so we've been doing TX2K since 2015.
And this facility works so much better for
and
them.
It's the event has just been on a trajectory that no one could have predicted, straight up, and it's gotten bigger and bigger every year. The quality of the cars has gotten so impressive.
And an international draw.
It's an international draw. We sold tickets to Texas 2K to every single state
in the United
continental
States.
United
Really?
States. Every single state.
Wow.
And I think there was about 7 or 8 different countries that were represented through ticketing.
How cool is that?
So it is a very big event, and attracts a really big following. And so it's things like that.
And it's a different following than NHRA typically does.
It is, because that style of racing is so different from what's happening here this weekend. Yes, it's still cars racing down the track. Yes, it's still whoever gets to the finish line wins, but it's not a 11,000 horsepower nitro burning, controlled bomb that's accelerating down the track that you're going to see this weekend.
It's a 2,000 horsepower Lamborghini or Supra.
You've got a 2,500 horsepower Lamborghini that's rolling from a 60 mile per hour rolling start. They can get up to 230 miles an hour. It's impressive.
Yeah, very impressive.
And for the fans in the stands, they understand what that car is. They know exactly what it is just by looking at it. And so it's so more relatable in that environment than maybe, say, if that crowd was here, they wouldn't really understand. It's impressive. It would be impressive to them, but it's not. They're not drawn to this because they can't relate to this.
Right.
And you're right. It's just a different crowd.
A wider variety of people coming out for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And very passionate people. We've had Peter on the show some time ago, and I've gone to a bunch of the TX2K stuff through the years, And they are a passionate group of people about the types of cars that they drive. And it's not just the Lamborghinis and the Supras. There's a good collection of Camaros and Mustangs and Corvettes in there as well. But you're talking about some high-dollar street cars that would just blow your mind, the kind of power they're putting down.
We didn't have anything like that back in our day, so it's kind of hard to imagine that the youth of today, and I'm saying that loosely, I mean the youth of today is up to 40 years old in my book, and they've
it's an old book.
It is an old book, and they've got the funds to be able to go and spend tens of thousands upon thousands of dollars to soup up their Lamborghini, which wasn't cheap to begin with. Yeah.
Yeah, so, you look at the variety and the mix of cars that are at Texas 2K, and it's not just Lamborghinis. You've got Toyota Supras, you've got Nissan GTRs, all-wheel drive. Those things are impressive. You got, old school, Chevrolet Corvettes and Mustangs. You got the old school, the new, some of the older stuff and the Fox body Mustangs, stuff like that. It's just a big mix of cars, and it's really, really a lot of fun. Just to put in perspective, at Texas 2K, we signed up almost 600 cars, 600 participants over a 5-day race weekend.
Yeah.
And here, this weekend, we'll have just a little over 200. So just kind of in context, you can see,
the enormity,
how different the events are and how big each one of them are in their own way.
And some of those teams show up with a Top Fuel-looking rig. They'll have 2 or 3 cars in an 18-wheeler rig and unload, throw the tent out, and there's 25, 30 people working
full-blown
on the cars.
team. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Do you think that these new television shows that have really gained in popularity the last few years has helped that?
No doubt. I think anything that where fans can connect with motorsports in general, it doesn't even have to be drag racing, on TV or cable or YouTube or social media.
Right.
When they see that stuff, that's what gets them thinking about it and putting it on the forefront of their mind, to where, when they see maybe an ad for an event here at Houston Raceway Park, that they'll want to come and check it out.
Now, we're going to wrap up, because I know that you've got to go and your phone's probably been ringing off the wall. Yeah. And we'll appease you in that regard. But I have to ask you about what the hell is going on out there on the dang 99. Oh, my God, from I-10, it's a landmine out there.
Well,
what timing?
I wouldn't use the word landmine. It's called construction. It's called development. And, unfortunately, we all will have to suffer through, a year or two of headache and pain while these construction crews finish widening and building out the rest of Highway 99, and including the widening of FM 565, which is right here that, the borders are front of
Does
our
that
property.
go all the way back over to 146?
It does. And so, these are all good things that we've been wanting and asking the state and the county and to do, and they're doing that. Unfortunately, we can't control the timing.
It's going to step on a few.
But I can tell you, when we come back here next year, getting in and out of this place will be
sweet,
much improved.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
Well, I just want to. So, is it easier now to come in from 146 than it is 99? In your estimation?
In my estimation, if I would come 146. If you want to avoid any of the construction related.
Yeah, because these rigs, that's a treacherous area.
It's a bowling alley you're driving through out there.
I have to tell you that Jeff spilled his tea in his lap this morning as I slammed on the brakes trying to get into this little one-lane thing going across there.
We were doing a four-wheel drift around the
Yeah, yesterday I came in from 146, and I thought, all this construction, and all this stuff. But I came in this morning, 99 off of 10.
146 was easy.
I should have went around and came here through 146.
Seth, thank you so much for coming by. We appreciate it. I know that you're a crazy, busy man, so I'll let you get back to it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Seth Angel, the president here at the Houston Raceway Park and this year's NHRA Spring Nationals over here in Baytown. We invite you to come on out. Qualifying today, 2 rounds of qualifying begin at noon, and then tomorrow is final eliminations. It's a big weekend, and we know that you'll love to be here.
Still got time to get here.
If you'd like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. And our show, by the way, streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and inwheeltime.com. Podcasts are available at your favorite podcast provider. The End Wheel Time Car Show continues right after this quick break. Let me tell you about a locally owned and operated group of dealerships called Bayway. Bayway owner Daryl Wisniewski is born and raised right here, and he knows Houstonians better than anyone. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, Bayway Lincoln, and Bayway Chevrolet are managed by Lincoln Stahl. And when you get to know these guys, you'll want to become part of the Bayway family too. Feel good that you're part of Houstonian-owned Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.com, BaywayChevrolet.com, and BaywayLincoln.com. Remember the name, Bayway. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, June 19th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupe founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, June 19th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy. The End Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday morning, June 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy. Inside the Loop, visit Tailpipes and Tacos on the Southwest Freeway at Shepherd, weather permitting.
NHRA Camping World Drag Racing. It's an 11,000 horsepower Nitro Rodeo coming to Houston Raceway Park in Baytown. Catch all the Nitro and Pro Stock action at the Mopar Express Lane NHRA Spring Nationals presented by Pennzoil this weekend. Matt Hagan, Leah Pruitt, Erica Enders, 3-time world champ Steve Torrance, and 16-time himself John Force. Kids 12 and under are free in general admission. Get tickets at HoustonRaceway.com. Houston's got horsepower.
Don't miss the first ever Houston Summer Auto Show, May 19th through the 23rd at NRG Center. A limited edition collection of your favorite brands and models, including the new Ford Bronco and Jeep Grand Wagoneer. Tickets online only at HoustonAutoShow.com.
Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the End Wheel Time Car Show, your weekly go-to all things automotive place. Today coming to you from the NHRA Spring Nationals at Houston Raceway Park in Baytown, Texas. We got guests from the professional drag racing circuit lined up for you, including the reigning Pro Stock champ and Houstonian Erica Enders, Top Fuel pilot Antron Brown, and funny car driver J.R. Todd, to name a few. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeff Zekin, and the fabulous transmission specialist David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong, and I want to remind you that the End Wheel Time program is sponsored today by Toyota, the official car of the NHRA. And like we did from the Houston Auto Show, we're going to kind of run things a little bit out of order. Just to get everything in and be prepared, you know, for our drivers when they show up.
Don, our listeners don't know they're out of order unless you tell them.
Well, I just told them.
I know.
So right now we have usually at least 3 car reviews that we do every show, which, by the way, today's show is an extra hour, so we're going to go till noon today. But typically we're on the air from 8 until 11 a.m. So we have 3 car reviews, 2 new ones, and then a used car or pre-owned car of the week. And this week, Mr. Mars had a chance to drive the Ford Ranger.
The new 2021 Ford Ranger.
Okay.
Now, this is the mid-size pickup entry from Ford. You know, they came back into the market a couple of years ago because the market was actually growing so well with a few entries that were already in it. So the first thing you got to remember is this is not a small F-150. They didn't just take the F-150 and shrink it down and make it smaller. So, and it doesn't have the flexibility that the F-150 has. You only have 2 choices for cabs. You only have 2 choices for beds, which is still pretty good. That gives you 4 different configurations there on your mid-size pickup. There's several new colors out for the 2021 year, 2022 coming in here. We had the Cyber Orange. It's brand new because we're talking about the 2021 Ford Ranger Lariat with the trimmer package. Cyber Orange is one of the trimmer colors that are available for it. So for the Ford Ranger itself, you're going to see that it's got a new hexagonal grill. Hexagonal grill with some slanted headlights. It's all LED headlights, LED fog lights, tail lights. Got a nice LED package that goes across all of it. And because we have the trimmer package, we've got a couple extra things such as the wheel lip moldings that you're going to find that are exclusive on that trim level, you're going to find it's got the skid plates, it's got Fox shocks, it's got tow hooks, and it's all part of that package. And there's a few more things we'll get into in a little bit. But it also has some 17-inch aluminum wheels that are specific to that trim level. Now, you get onto the inside of it, it's very much a Ford Ranger, even though it's the off-road package, and you've got the leather seating surfaces because of the Lariat. The front seats are heated. Both of them recline, which is kind of unusual for the driver's seat to actually recline back. Got map pockets, got under-seat storage. There's a lot of places, cubby holes in the door panels to put things. Got the 8-inch touch screen up in the dash. That's where you're going to find your rear camera, your Sync 3, and all your convenience controls for your air conditioning and everything, including the rear window defroster, which on a midsize is kind of a unique thing to have. And we also had the B&O, or the Bang & Olufsen 10-speaker audio system set up. Now, up under the hood to make all this stuff go, it has a 2.3-liter engine in it, which you're going to find that in several other different vehicles that Ford uses, so it's kind of their workhorse engine. In this configuration, it has 270 horsepower, and it's got 310 pound-feet of torque to it. It's backed by a 10-speed automatic transmission, so you put it all together, and this vehicle can actually tow 7,500 pounds when properly equipped.
That's respectable.
For a mid-sized truck, that's pretty good.
Well, and I think it's really good, and I kind of wonder how it's going to stop with that kind of weight pushing it, but that'd be interesting to try sometime.
And we know that you'll try it.
Well, if I get the chance. And because we had the trimmer package, we're talking about an all-wheel drive vehicle. So the EPA says you should be looking for about 21 miles to the gallon in the city, 24 out on the highway. And again, when you're driving this vehicle, because it's got the Fox suspension components, it's going to actually set almost an inch taller. It's got some 32-inch tires on it. So it's got a very firm ride to it, but it's not harsh like a lot of vehicles have that are set up for off-road. So it's actually kind of pleasant when you get it up to speed running down Interstate 10. If you're looking for something to compare it to in that mid-size category, the Chevrolet Colorado has a ZR2 package and a crew cab as well. Starts at $44,200. The Jeep Gladiator, the Mojave, is a good package to compare to at $44,320. The Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro, very popular, been around for a while, starts at about $44,000. Now you can get a base Ranger for $24,820, but now you got to step up to the crew cab. You're going to step up to the Lariat package at $39,675, and the trimmer package that we had is a pre-production vehicle. So I went and looked, and the trimmer package will cost you about $4,500. So you package that on top of the trimmer. on top of the Lariat, then you're looking at about $44,000 to get into this vehicle, which
all
is compatible.
in or about the same price.
Right,
yeah.
they're all right in there in the same when you get into that midsize looking for some off-road factory packages.
So how fast did you have it going, Mike?
It'll easily do the speed limit in places that you shouldn't be going that speed.
We
were just testing.
You know, Jeff and I were talking about the on-ramp acceleration test because he wanted to see what the Cadillac that I'm currently driving would do. So I gave him an on-ramp acceleration test. But Mr. Mars actually invented that on this show. And he has gotten several tickets over there from the Neaterville and the Department of Public Safety.
Barney Fife.
Generally, it's Port Arthur.
But is it Port Arthur Police?
They don't have much of a sense of humor.
Well, the thing about it is we did ours at 4:50 in the morning.
There wasn't anybody on the road. There was that.
So how was it?
It put me back in the seat. It was impressive.
It
was really impressive.
It has a we'll review this here in a couple of weeks. It's got a 3-liter V6 turbocharged, and that thing
hubba.
Yeah, it does.
Hubba.
And the funny thing about it is at low speeds, or you start taking off from a dead stop, it's got this weird sound as a V6 does. They've got it muffled in such a way that it's different sounding. It's not like some roar of a V8 engine like, the Dodge Hellcat or something.
Really? Exactly.
It's the 6-cylinder. But then when you get it up to speed, 60, 70 miles an hour coming over here this morning, you can't hear a thing.
It planes out.
And that's why I think, and I'm not being facetious about it, but you think about a freeway entrance ramp where you've got to go from 35 or 40 miles an hour to get up to speed, whatever it is.
Or in your case, 0 to 80.
Well, no, I generally don't do from 0 because that rolling start, to me, it doesn't really tell you a whole lot. But from that 20 or 30, it's like merging with traffic or doing a high-speed lane change.
So you get to
it was like Seth was talking about roll racing.
Exactly.
You roll in about 40, and how fast does it take you to get to?
Well, to me, that's a much better experience of how the vehicle actually performs.
Has that story worked with the police when they've stopped
Not one lick. Never.
gotta tell him
Officer, I'm just trying to evaluate the car.
Yeah, it's part of the research.
I'd wanted to see how well it downshifts to first gear rolling at 40 miles an hour.
Exactly.
It was a dry slot.
Exactly.
It was a dry slot. That's exactly what it was.
I mean, anybody can set a red light and make their own EPA dump site by smoking the tires.
Or you could be Greg Enders and take a brand new set of tires that he just put on the Corvette and just burn the back end right off of them.
Well, that's where you get all that factory crap off the outside of it, so that you can get some traction.
Yeah.
Later
Oh, is
on.
that what
You
it
should have
is?
said that yesterday when Greg was watching.
Yeah, he may be watching right now.
I hope he is.
I would imagine that I just got word that the qualifying today has changed
Again.
and that Pro Stock is supposed to roll at 10:30 now instead of noon, and Funny Car and Top Fuel start at 12 noon.
So in about 2
Well,
hours.
we heard the dryers out there earlier,
Right.
and they're not going anymore. So it sounds like they got the track dried.
Or
Now
maybe
they're getting
inspections.
It
They're
prepped.
inspecting
Now they're
it.
prepping it, right?
So in a little less than 2 hours, the Pro Stock will roll.
Yeah.
So does that change our?
It changes
time with
everything.
Because I'm excited to have Erica on the show.
Well, I am too.
Guess what time she was supposed to be here?
10:30. Yeah. So clearly,
Four-time Pro Stock World Champion.
Now I'm hoping that she can get here before we go off the air at noon today.
And come back and tell us that she won.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
she
qualified.
wins
Yeah, first round.
Well, there's no winning. This
Well,
is
but-
qualifying,
yeah,
but whatever.
She's still in the game.
Yeah. Whatever you said, that's fine with me. Sure. Just go with
Next.
it. Because, I worked feverishly on today's program and to get it done and to get all the
go
guests.
flush it all down the toilet.
And all of the bios of the drivers and did all of my research and the things that I was supposed to do in preparation.
You did a fine job. You got a nice stack of paper
Oh,
there.
listen, it's big and thick. Well, you can throw about 90% of that away.
No, they'll still be here. You just have to thumb through it to find what you want.
them.
Is that me backing up?
Yeah, the fire alarm's off or something. I don't know.
Well, there you go.
Just
No, I
smoking.
thought
That's 'cause
that
the show-
that's the internet. I think that device that the guy was brought in here. That's what it
No,
looked like.
if it's a fire alarm is because this show is hot.
Oh, there we go. We're smoking.
Smoking
that's
something.
what it is. I got some news to tell you about. Some recalls first. Alfa Romeo, Giulia and Stelvio from the 2019 through 2021 models have been recalled for a rotor and shaft problem because it may separate, causing a loss of ABS.
So that's the Italian mine shaft?
Right.
Yeah.
The mine shaft.
It's the hashtag.
Okay. I think that somebody's going to reset that sooner or later.
The hashtag?
No, the smoke alarm.
No, that's not us.
It's not us. Porsche, for all of you Porsche owners out there, pretty much everything in the Cayenne label has been recalled from the 20 and 21 model years. Missing seat heater may prevent airbag deployment. I don't know how that happens. What do they blow the people up out of the seat?
Hopefully not.
Yeah. Volkswagen, pretty much everything that they've made in the 2016 through 2019 models, all the Golfs, Atlases, CC, e-Golf, Tiguan, Touareg,
Everything.
In the 20th century.
modifications that they have made in the past to the vehicles have made them now non-compliant. So you got to take your recall back for them to fix whatever it is that they messed up.
Which is why we tell you to check often.
Yes. Ford Transit 2019, you're familiar with that. Warped axle flange may fracture the wheel studs.
Kind of affects the drivability a little
A
bit.
little bit as the wheel
steerability.
Yeah, that too. As the wheel and axle pass you by on the freeway, you're trying to control the sparks.
You picked a fine time to leave me loose wheel.
Loose wheel. That's exactly right. So those are the recalls that I can tell you about those. Mercedes-Benz is going to recall 342,000 U.S. vehicles over software troubles. Imagine that. The recall covers a wide range of vehicles from 2019 through the 2021 model years. It's because the MBUX, which is Mercedes-Benz user experience, multimedia system software installed in them may cause their displays to remain black or reboot after startup and not show the backup camera images correctly. Well, Lord forbid that you'd have to use
Big
the
deal.
actual.
The backup cameras
That's
only
what the mirrors are for.
only come on when
According
you
to
put it in R.
according to a document filed with NHTSA, vehicle backup cameras that display blank images reduce the driver's rear view, increasing the risk of a crash or injury. How about using your neck and go, there's somebody back there?
You have to remember, backup cameras were standard equipment by federal government, Department of Transportation in 18. So everything's had backup cameras.
17 or 18, yeah.
Whatever.
So you also heard while you were talking about Daimler Truck, the commercial sister to Mercedes-Benz, has started testing prototypes of semi-trailers powered by hydrogen electric powertrains.
Wow.
So, not just pure EV, not a hybrid internal combustion engine and a generator that's electrically driven. This is a hydrogen engine that drives the generator that electrically drives the
Great. So
vehicle.
now we can complain about not being able to plug the car in easy to find places. Now you got to find some place that has hydrogen.
Well, but the thing Mercedes is doing, it's liquid hydrogen. So it has to be hydrogen that's at like 200 degrees negative.
Negative.
So even more unique.
Storage. So you keep it in your refrigerator.
Freezer.
Yeah.
Freezer.
That's
Get one of the old-fashioned chest freezers.
Yeah.
why? I mean,
Well,
seriously.
because everybody's trying to come up with
Oh.
the green way to drive a vehicle, and when your emissions of a hydrogen electric vehicle are basically water and hydrogen, that's very green.
Look,
and they
we
use-
don't need any more water in Houston,
No,
Texas.
ain't that the truth?
So that's just a bad idea,
Well,
in my opinion.
hydrogen electric has been in the prototype market for probably 15 years.
Well, what does
and
that tell you?
Nobody has done it effectively.
Correct.
Or cost effectively, let's say. So, you're talking about infrastructure for EVs is a struggle. Think about the infrastructure for hydrogen-powered vehicles is going to be even more of a struggle.
It doesn't take much thinking to figure out that it's a struggle.
And in Houston, there's actually quite a lot of compressed natural gas vehicles driving around. And there's an infrastructure for it, but you talk about range anxiety. Compressed natural gas vehicles, maybe 100, 120 miles before you got to refill. Maybe 150 miles if it's a big truck or something and you got two of those torpedoes underneath the vehicle, because that's basically what it is. It's like big, huge scuba tanks that are full of compressed natural gas.
Bombs.
Well, yeah, they don't want to refer to them as that, but I remember when Chevrolet did it back in the 80s, the straps that held them on rusted. And the tanks would fall out.
And then scrape on the ground and then blow up. No, not blow up. Have a leak and a thing shoot out underneath the car.
Yes, it would.
Oh, my God.
And they recalled it.
That's so dumb.
Well,
It's dumb.
They sold lots of them. The very early ones were the straps, and then they fixed them.
Let's find some of those
And CenterPoint
owners.
Energy had a lot of them. They had a whole big, huge fleet of them, probably 150, 200 vehicles with that.
And now?
They're probably all in a scrapyard somewhere.
Exactly.
Well, the Intercontinental Airport's parking fleet is all compressed natural gas vehicles. Those buses that they drive, they're all CNG
Well,
powered.
that's easy.
It's very easy because it's a
all right
compact,
there.
right? Everything, their fueling station and everything is right there.
And that would be, as a matter of fact, we actually talked to the guy that did the robot vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a perfect place for the robot vehicles. The airport. You go from the parking lot over to the terminal building, which is, a couple of miles away?
Yeah, no, I don't think a robot would be a good idea because those buses have to merge in with all the crazy people driving to the airport that waited too long, and they're driving like kamikaze pilots as they're dive bombing 3 and 4 lanes of traffic, and I don't think autonomous buses should be in that mix, me personally. But I'm not a fan of autonomous
I would like
vehicles.
to put you in one of those and see how that works out for you.
I'd freak out.
You'd be hanging on for dear life, waiting to get hit.
I'd be sitting up next to the space where the driver's supposed to be looking for the brake pedal and the steering wheel.
Yeah.
But, oh well.
GM is going to close And it's so funny because I was thinking about taking the Corvette up to Bowling Green next week. You know, just a little couple of day trip. Well, they're halting production of the new Chevrolet Corvette and Bowling Green next week because of a parts supply issue, and it's not
chips.
It's
right.
not chips. Automaker would not disclose the details on the parts issue, but said it was not related to the global microchip shortage that has impacted more than 277,000 General Motors vehicles by Auto Forecast Solutions tally. Production at Bowling Green assembly is expected to be suspended starting Monday and not resume until June 1st.
Well, you think of how high-tech that new Corvette is. There's a lot of chips in it, so I'm surprised it's not chip-related.
Well, maybe.
Apparently they don't build enough of them.
Well, and I'm sure that they've got a stash.
Oh, I would hope so.
Already.
Well, I've had people ask the question, why have they not gone to Texas Instruments and had them start building their chips? Because here in Texas, they still have production facilities that they're actually starting to close down. So, with all that electronic genius, all that tech genius that's up there in Austin, Dell's up there, now Apple's up there.
But don't they all have their chips made in China?
Well, that's the problem.
Well,
is they don't make their own. They buy supply from outside the country. So hopefully this will get them all to make their own. We can get Made in America going again.
Well, we need to do that. It's funny you mentioned Texas Instruments. They used to have a big facility
down by you.
Out there in Stafford, and Stafford, Texas. Well, they closed that down years and years ago.
And now it's an In-N-Out Burger.
Well, no, the actual building is behind it still, but the In-N-Out Burger sits on the property.
That's the only thing that's important to me is the In-N-Out
I understand
Burger.
that they moved the Texas Instruments facility up to Dallas, I believe it is.
Was it?
My son has his best friend that he does the mountain biking with, went to college with him, grown up with him. He actually works for Texas Instruments. He
in Dallas?
No, here in Houston, but he travels internationally.
Oh.
He's a very, very smart guy. Angelo. You've met him at one of our
Oh,
gigs.
yes, I did.
Yeah.
I remember the name.
Yeah.
Angelo.
Nice kid.
They don't call him Angie or anything, do they?
No.
Okay.
And his daughter Angelina.
No kids. He's recently married as a newlywed.
Okay.
Good for them.
Well, I want you all to know that the Pope is probably thrilled.
Pope?
The Pope.
Is there a new Pope mobile?
There is. Fisker.
How many Popes in the pizza?
Fisker plans to supply the first pure EV for Pope Francis next year. With features such as a solar roof and carpets made of recycled plastic bottles from the ocean. Fisker will convert its all-electric Ocean sport utility vehicle for use by the Pope, providing a retractable glass cupola and sustainable interior materials.
Isn't that one of the Muppets?
Such as the carpets. Just thought it was an interesting story.
So it's a recycled Pope.
A Pope mobile, anyway.
Well, we're going in the other direction, so it doesn't matter. We're not going up. We're going down.
There's
Speak
no
for
doubt.
yourself, Jeffrey.
I know. There's no doubt in my mind.
I'll save you all a room. I'm going to use my hotel points so I can get a window.
Mr. Mars, what are you doing over there?
A room with a view. I'm helping Jeff.
Yeah.
What are you all doing?
We are adjusting the guest camera shot.
Well, I noticed that this happened to slide over that way.
Magic. It's magic.
Yeah.
We didn't want to see people at the bar. By the way, I was going to mention to everybody that's watching the broadcast, we are at Houston Raceway Park in Baytown, and we are located in the what used to be called the Top Eliminator Club.
Right,
It's some bank thing now, but whatever. And this is the Top Eliminator
It's
Club.
Wood Forest Bank.
Yeah. Whatever.
Whatever. I would imagine.
Is that your bank or something? Did you want to get
Seth would want you to mention Wood Forest Bank.
It's Daryl Russell, Top Eliminator.
Right.
When I worked for Joe Amato, I met Daryl. I've got several photos and autographs with Daryl.
You are a stalker, Jeff.
I am.
Daryl was killed in a matter of fact, a racing accident in St. Louis many years ago. But so the club is named after him. A lot of tributes to him back over there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
His folks still go up to the NHRA suite. They still have a partnership up there.
Jeff, you'll have to give back those 4 pictures you stuffed in your bag.
Yeah, I got them in my envelope. And the trophies.
But anyway, so we're out here in the Top Eliminator Club. I get how many people? 300 people in here?
I counted out 350 seat yesterday.
I think seat 350 in here. So you have to be a member of the club, and they sell booze in here, and they have big lunches and awards banquets,
special seating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because the seating outside
outside,
Eliminator
yes.
Club is right behind the starting line.
Right.
So when they light those nitro cars up, depending on the direction of the wind,
isn't that great?
you get the burning of the eyes and the taste of the nitro. They do the burnouts, and you get the little rubber
if you're
speckles
lucky,
on your shirt.
all over your
That's-
glasses.
That's what you come to the drag races for.
That sounds sexy.
Taste it, smell it, feel it, look like it.
I had somebody that has never been
See,
to
Don looks like it because he looks like a top fuel car. The rear tires when they get all wrinkly.
Okay.
That was a real stretch.
I had to go.
You went that far for that?
Exactly.
I was waiting for something really good, and then he kind of disappointed me there at the end.
If this is a bank sponsorship, I want to take a tour of the vault.
It's not here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's nothing. There's no money here.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, there's a
it's
lot
all-
of money here, but
It's all in
not with
plastic.
I've got extra room in my bag.
The first time I brought my wife over here, and one of the girls, we came through the ticket booth right over here, and we were coming up here, coming around here behind the club to go over to the other side to where the spectators are, and they lit one of those top fuel cars off, and she'd never been around it, never heard it. I mean, both of them stopped in their tracks because they didn't know what I was bringing.
Thought the world was coming to an end.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
and all the alarms in the parking lot go off.
My 13-year-old granddaughter will be here with us tomorrow. She loves it. She came last year and digging it.
Yeah. She got to meet Erica, got to sit in one of the junior dragsters out there, so
Oh, cool.
we treated her
Angel on a bike, Angel Sebois.
No,
Sampé.
Sampé. Angel Sampé.
Met her.
Yeah, but she won't be here this
No.
weekend.
No.
I kind of thought maybe she would. I'd like to talk to her in person instead of from the studio.
Zoom.
Great
Zoom.
interview. Wonderful interview.
Yeah, she's a very good interview, and she really knows her business when it comes to those bikes. It's unbelievable to me and she's been doing it for a long time.
That's what surprised me. I mean, looking at her pictures and talking to her on Zoom and seeing her and stuff, it was like 15 years, 16 years.
Yeah.
And it no, gosh, she don't look like.
And there's another female bike rider by the name of Karen Stouffer.
And
Yes.
Angie Smith.
Yes.
Karen Stouffer, I met her when I was doing this drag racing thing back in 2006. What a wonderful person. She and her husband tunes the bike, and just a delight to talk to. And but I'll tell you what, when they put the helmet on, how competitive, you have no clue. Get out of the way,
Wow.
I'm going to win the race attitude.
How courageous, too.
And there's that. And when you meet some of these people, you just don't get the sense that they've got that kind of competitive streak. It's like a professional athlete, and that
Well,
they
they
are,
are.
in a way.
Absolutely.
When I think of an athlete, I think of somebody that's out on the
Football,
football field,
baseball,
and
something.
basketball, whatever. But they have a different mindset, having worked with them for a while. And if you've not ever worked with one and been around them while they're doing their thing, you better get out of the way. And you
Focused.
focused, and you don't interrupt them. And so, oh my God. So
Speaking of focused,
so we're going to take a break, and I'm going to introduce our next guest. Stay with us. It's the In Wheel Time program here from Houston Raceway Park and the NHRA Spring Nationals, and we appreciate you staying with us. We got a special guest right after this quick break.
Let me tell you about a locally owned and operated group of dealerships called Bayway. Bayway owner Daryl Wisniewski is born and raised right here, and he knows Houstonians better than anyone. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, Bayway Lincoln, and Bayway Chevrolet are managed by Lincoln Stahl. And when you get to know these guys, you'll want to become part of the Bayway family too. Feel good that you're part of Houstonian-owned Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.com, BaywayChevrolet.com, and BaywayLincoln.com. Remember the name, Bayway. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, June 19th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free, and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off, in a friends and family event at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupe founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, June 19th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday morning, June 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy. Inside the Loop, visit Tailpipes and Tacos on the Southwest Freeway at Shepherd, weather permitting.
NHRA Camping World Drag Racing. It's an 11,000 horsepower Nitro Rodeo coming to Houston Raceway Park in Baytown. Catch all the Nitro and Pro stock action at the Mopar Express Lane NHRA Spring Nationals presented by Pennzoil this weekend. Matt Hagan, Leah Pruitt, Erica Enders, 3-time world champ Steve Thorns, and 16-time himself John Force. Kids 12 and under are free in general admission. Get tickets at HoustonRaceway.com. Houston's got horsepower.
Don't miss the first ever Houston Summer Auto Show, May 19th through the 23rd at NRG Center. A limited edition collection of your favorite brands and models, including the new Ford Bronco and Jeep Grand Wagoneer. Tickets online only at HoustonAutoShow.com.
From the NHRA Spring Nationals at Houston Raceway Park in Baytown, Texas, this is the award-winning car talk show, In Wheel Time. Just ahead, guests from this weekend's super fast event out here at the drag strip. We'll review our featured car of the week, the BMW M5 competition. We've got your weekly cruise-in calendar. Conrad has This Week in Auto History. We've got stories making automotive news headlines, that and more, all just ahead on today's In Wheel Time car show. Thanks for joining us today. It's an extended show. We're going to go all the way till noon. Now we're kind of wishing we might not have gone all the way to noon because all of these guys are going to be out on the track.
I got to be
somewhere.
Okay.
Will you go there?
I'm going to be out there.
About there, okay. I thought you'd be up at the bar by then.
Well,
howdy along with Mike out of this world Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeff Zekin, Chief Engineer David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. Today's In Wheel Time is sponsored by Toyota, the official car of the NHRA. So our very special guest that we have here in the remote studio in the Top Eliminator Club out here at Houston Raceway Park has some very exciting news to tell us all. And I was absolutely thrilled to hear that Mr. Antron Brown is starting his own Top Fuel team for 2022.
Right.
Oh,
Congratulations.
thank you.
Oh,
Thank
my
you.
God, how
Thank you.
exciting is this?
Let me tell you something. It's exciting, but it's also you're nervous. You know what I mean? Because it's
Yeah.
the unknown. It's a new chapter that's in the page of my book right now. So with my family being behind me all these years, and also it's just this has been in the works for a while. This is not something that's really brand new or new. I mean, this was something that we talked about at the beginning of literally 2020. You know what I mean? We came out and
Been working on it for a
yes. With Don Schumacher and Schumacher Racing and everybody there just building over all the years, and this was my next step. You know what I mean? And the coolest part is when you have people that support you and go, you know what? If that's what you want to do, this is your next step. And all of our partners from like Matco Tools, Toyota, Global Electronic Technology, Hanksterfers, and all those people have been behind us full stream and bringing on Sirius XM radio. So it's been really, really cool to see the people that's like jumping in and saying, "Hey, we want to help you on this journey, because it is a journey, and we're not looking for a sprint, we're looking for a marathon. So we're going to start off and pace ourselves and take it all in, and we just want to do it right and move forward because this is the future of our sport at the end of the day, and that's what I look at is like, okay, people pass torches. You know what I mean? Kenny Bernstein was out here for a lot of years.
Yep.
Passed the torch on to another team. Then you had like all your other teams out here that passed the torch, like Don Perdome was out here past the torch. Now Force became the mega teams, and Don Schumacher became the all-time winningest team out there in championships and everything else and Hall of Fames. And who's next in line? You know what I mean? So, well, that's what I'm trying to do. You know
and
what
you
I mean?
couldn't
That's
have
why-
a better mentor as well.
Oh.
You know, to learn being in the team for so long, and I'm sure getting a lot of coaching and counseling from Mr. Schumacher about where you're going and what you're doing.
Well, and the
Absolutely.
other interesting
Absolutely.
part about it that I read is that Don is helping support you in your effort.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
he's behind you 100%. It's not as if you're picking up and moving your tent over to the Antron Brown side. He's helping you, along with all these other people. But I think it's a testament to you, sir, as Antron Brown. Listen, you're one of the most loved guys on this circuit, and it's understandable. We all talk about you throughout the year.
We do, yeah.
When we're not the drag racing
appreciate
stuff.
that.
But really, I mean,
Yes.
you're kind of part of our family, and we are behind you all the way. We want you to be the best that there is to be out there.
And with that said, is there any room in your organization for in-wheel time?
yes. You know, we're going to put a special spot
There's
right there.
always a room for a sticker on the car.
That's right. In-wheel time. Let's talk about
maintenance.
it.
It's called maintenance.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
need somebody to wash the car or something.
It's a big tent. It's a big tent.
Yeah.
So, where are you going to house the team? Are you still going to be in and around the Schumacher?
Yes, that's the game plan, without a doubt. And Don, if you've never been to Indy and you see his operation, you're talking about he has over 140,000 square foot underneath a roof.
Oh, wow.
And,
it's massive.
it's a mega house. Like, you know, when you look at Don Schumacher, what he's established and what he's got, you know, he's kind of like the Roush Yates or the Joe Gibbs of
Or the
NASCAR
Hendricks, yeah.
or Hendricks. That's what he is of drag racing. And he makes all the parts and pieces. He's got all this stuff there. And the coolest part is that Tasca is on the other end of it. Like, you know, I mean, I saw the model from what Bob Tasca does. He leases space. He's in on the other stuff where they build his chassis, mount his bodies, you know what I mean, from the blowers and everything else. He buys the cylinder heads, the blocks, the parts and pieces. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to do the same exact deal. We're going to be just another extension of it where we're able to buy the pieces, lean on it, but then we're going to still be off on our own to navigate our way with our partnerships and everything else and utilize what Toyota brings to the table, TRD, because that's the main focus of it is we're going to get all the opening of all the technology when we're off on our own, because at the end of the day, you look at our program right now, we race with Leah, Matt, Ron. Well, they're all Mopar cars, and I'm Toyota. So I'm kind of out here on the wing by myself anyway, like over here on this side, because we can't deviate or share stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So when you look at that perspective, is now we're going to open up the doors and the floodgates with TRD, where they've always been supporting us, but we're going to have a living engineer that's on our team from TRD,
How
which
awesome
is
is
pretty
that?
awesome.
That's cool.
And get access to some of their R&D in-house stuff as well.
Yes, well, you look what they've done for Coletta.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I mean, Coletta always had a very competitive team, but they're out there, they're running and winning championships. You get what I mean? Like I remember JR when he was riding the funny car, they was always there, but they always needed something extra to take them over that hump, and TRD brought that. They brought that and then some, and they became a dominant force, and now you're starting to see it with their dragsters. Like, Coletta ran for a championship last year against Devo. He was leading the points lead, going back and forth. I mean, they're there. You know what I mean? So that's just a testament to what the TRD folks
they're very
do.
active. And I think that's great. I mean, because you're talking about that's kind of what Toyota did in San Antonio when they built their truck plant. They brought all their suppliers in so that they didn't have to go anyplace. It's all right there. And that sounds like exactly what you're doing. You know, I'm here. All my suppliers are here as well.
Absolutely. And you just look at the framework they did in NASCAR.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And how successful they've been there.
Exactly. They came out. They didn't hit the ground running. You know what I mean? Like, they were like, it took them a way to build up, but once they figured it out, then it was like the gas pedal was mashed all the way down. Now they run and compete for championships each and every year.
Speaking of NASCAR, I read that Tony Stewart is working to get a license.
I think Tony's got enough run to have his license now. He's been putting some laps in.
Okay.
I mean, you could look at it on social media, on YouTube, on his own channel.
That's an interesting factor there.
Well,
he went 376 on his other run, like at 324 miles an hour, 320, somewhere around there.
He ain't scared.
No. But Tony, you understand why he did what he did in any form of motorsports he drove, from dirt tracks to NASCAR to pavement to road courses to IndyCar.
Yeah.
I mean, the man is like he's like a sponge. And when I went out there and I saw him making some laps and I was talking to him, what he recited to me, a lot of people think, oh, he's just a driver. Don't realize how smart Tony Stewart is. Like, he is a student of the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, I blew my mind. I was like, this cat is sharp. You know what I mean?
Was that the first time you met him?
No. I've known Tony for years. I knew him from when he drove NASCAR. Like, me and him always had a unique relationship where we always talked on and off and stuff like that. And he's always been a big game changer. You know what I mean? Like, people don't understand. He's a really cool dude when you get to know him, but he is a fierce competitor.
Yeah.
He wants to compete at the highest level, and when he puts his helmet on, he turns into a gladiator.
Well, it's funny because we were just talking about that very thing before you showed up about, we're sitting here talking to you now as if you're my next door neighbor, best friend.
Yes.
But you put that helmet on, you get inside that car, and it's a whole different world for you.
Oh, absolutely.
And every driver out there at this level.
Absolutely. And a lot of people, a lot of people see me because they always see me smiling, and I'm always out there going because I have fun whatever I do. But don't get it twisted. When I put my helmet on, you do not want to line up against me or on the other side of me because I don't care who you are. I don't care where you come from. I don't care what it don't make a difference. It's like when you line up against me, you are my number one enemy. Like, you're trying to steal my lunch money. I haven't eaten lunch all week. You follow what I mean?
Do you say bad words to yourself in the helmet when no one can hear?
No. Like the funny part is, like, I don't never say, like, bad words. Like, if I get frustrated at myself, I'm just mad at myself. It's like the feeling is in there. I don't have to say a word to show how frustrated I am. Like, it don't make a difference how loud I yell or if I cuss inside my helmet. It doesn't change the feeling inside.
Yeah.
And that's always been my fuel to drive me. Like, no matter how the weekend goes, I'm the worst critic on myself, where I look at things and I say, you know what, this could have been better. The team could have been better here. I could have been better here. We all should have been better here. And I look at things, and every weekend's a growing process for me.
I keep telling Don that. That's the philosophy we need to have him.
And as long as it's constructive like that, then that's a good thing. And as long as everybody understands that, that's right. It's getting better, and that's how you get to the level that you are. Is with that drive to figure out how can I be better.
Oh, absolutely. And just to go off that, the hardest thing for me is that I see people all the time that they could beat themselves up over and over again. Okay, well, beating yourself up over and over again, that's not going to fix the problem.
Yeah.
It's like, for me, it's like I don't cry over spilled milk. I just go like this, okay, and then I move forward. And when I go home, I go, okay, this is where I'm weak at. I got to work on this.
Yeah. How
do I fix it?
How do I avoid spilling the milk next time?
Yeah. Exactly, because what I tell a lot of people all the time, I go, when you show up for a race, you might get lucky and win a race. Okay, you can get lucky. Okay, but luck is not going to have you winning over and over and over and over and over and
get
over
you to
again.
A championship.
Absolutely. And for me, I said the only thing that you do Monday through Thursday is work on your craft, because when you come to the racetrack, you're not going to make no miracle happen. You're only showcasing the work that you put in Monday through Thursday. Right. That's it. It's simple. It's nothing magical. It's just you're just showcasing your work to everybody that you're going against. That's it.
Outside of this sport, what do you do for fun? What is your fun place to go to? What do you do? You
want to hear something funny? My fun place, honestly, is when I get home, like, I go racing with my kids, and it's just being around the family.
Yeah.
It's seeing my kids and my family. I like putting them in situations where they elevate. That's my fun place, is being around them, joking, cutting up jokes, and just seeing the quirky stuff that they do.
They're also in the sport as well.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And some of the other fun things I do is, like, to be honest with you, is like I play in a church league at home in basketball. I really enjoy that because I'm an old guy, but I try to keep up with the young bucks.
How does that work out for you?
It works out. It works out fine right now. They're looking at me, and a lot of them think I'm 25 years old, and I'm like, "No, man, I'm 45." They're like, "What?" And they look at me like, "You're 45?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "I can't keep up with you."
None of us could be in that league.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What year did you start professional drag racing? When you started the bikes?
In '98.
In
'98,
Wow.
I was 21 years old when I started.
And
Yes.
what moved you to go to bikes?
Well, for me, you mean from when I went to motorcycles, I grew up on motorcycles.
Right.
You know what I mean? A lot of people don't realize that I rode dirt bikes since I was 4 and raced motocross since I was about 10 years old.
I did not know that either.
I grew up on dirt bikes. I didn't have junior dragsters when I was a kid.
Right.
Like, literally, when I was, like, in '94, junior dragsters were just coming out. I was graduating high school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, you were beyond that
Yeah.
at that point.
In between, yeah.
Exactly. So I was just at the very end of it when it came out, and that just literally just came out. You know what I mean? That was just like exhibition at Englishtown, New Jersey with the Knapp family.
Right.
So for me, it was like I was this motorcycles. That's the only cheapest form for me to drag race. My dad and uncle had their sportsman cars. They had like a Super Comp, a Roadster that they raced with a Roadster back then. That was before Super Comp turned to dragsters. People had like long Roadsters, or they had Roadsters that they raced Super Comp with, and then a full body car they raced Super Gas with, like with their Vega. Then it went from the Roadsters and turned to dragsters. You know what I mean? That's what everybody started making. That tells you
The
that
old
age
rails.
frame.
Yeah.
That they went to dragsters for Super Comp. So then, for me, when I was growing up, I said, well, I'm going to go out. My dad and them going to drag strip. How am I going to drag strip? So got a street bike. My dad and them used to have street bikes. My dad used to drag race motorcycles because it was the cheapest way to go fast.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you went, you could build an 8-second motorcycle and have like a couple grand in it. To build an 8-second race car, you got like 50 grand in it.
And
Absolutely.
You follow what I mean? It's a big difference.
And it was also easier to transport the team with a bike and a small trailer versus some of the stuff everybody needs today.
Not necessarily team yourself and maybe your wife.
A couple of three people.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, I mean, I can remember I was a kid just out of high school going to college. So my bike, I could run low 9s on it, and I drove it to the racetrack.
Yeah.
I didn't drive to school. I didn't drive to school because it wasn't that type of bike. But I could drive it to the racetrack and back and forth.
Yeah, the other thing, it didn't break as much as an 8-second car would
No.
after you spend 50 grand on it, if you could get to 8 seconds.
Absolutely.
So how did you
absolutely.
knock on the door to get on the pro bike tour?
Well, the funniest part of it is my cousin, Tommy, she married an NFL football player named Troy Vincent, who played for the Miami Dolphins, and he played his whole career for the Philadelphia Eagles, defensive back. Now the crazy part is Troy, you're talking about having a great mentor for me to grow up in the sport. Troy is now the vice president of NFL under Roger Goodell.
Oh, wow.
He's the senior executive vice president of all the NFL.
How cool is that?
So Troy, the unique thing about Troy is that he just wasn't a player. He was a student off the field, and he was very smart, business savvy, always carried himself well, talked well. Because he used to be the president of the Players Union before he became the VP of the NFL. So Troy, he was in motorcycles. So he started the race team. It was called Team 23, which was his football number. And it had the colors of the Eagles in it, like, you know what I mean, like that emerald sparkly green.
Right.
And I was one of his first riders. And Tony Mullins out of Florida was his second team. And Harry Lartigue, that's here from Houston.
Right.
Harry Lartigue, he was a partner with Troy. So we had a 2-bike team. And it was Team 23. So it was Harry with his rider Tony, and it was Troy with me under here, and we had 2 bikes.
Okay.
And that's how it got started.
That's how it all got started. And I came out, and I was in college, and I just got done with a junior college, got my associate degree in business administration. I was going to my 4-year school. And I had a call. I'll never forget, I called my track coach, Chris Carter, at the time and said, Chris, man, I said, Mr. Chris, I said, I'm not going to school. He goes, what? You got a full ride? And you picked this school over all the other schools. I could have went to a lot of different colleges for my last 2 years in track and field. And I go, no, I'm not going to another school. I'm going drag racing. Because you're going to throw away your college scholarship. You know what I mean?
To go drag racing.
To go drag race. I go, yeah. And then it's so funny that my old coach from Mercer that I went to school with in New Jersey, he goes, AB, I can't believe you do that scholarship, but it worked out for you okay.
You're going to go fast, but not running.
Have you been back in contact with Coach Chris?
No, I haven't talked to Coach Chris Carter in a while because me and him didn't develop, like we had a good relationship because that's the school I was going to go to, but I never got there to really work with him.
He was ticked that he left.
He was hot because I was pretty much his number one prospect coming in because in junior college I was ranked number 1 in the whole country for a 55-meter indoor dash.
Oh, gosh.
And I ran 10.3, like 10 threes and 10 fours in 100 meters.
Now you're doing 3.5 seconds.
So like I was a big prospect to go to his college to do it, like a Division I college. And I was like, man, I could have went to Temple. I could have went to Penn, University of Penn.
There you go again.
I could have did everything. And it was like,
can't take you anywhere.
What you
now
doing? Where you going?
All these world championship trophies to show him as well. We talked a few seconds ago about NASCAR. You guys had a visit from some of the NASCAR teams, and I know you had Bubba Wallace, and I watched his expression on the show when he was on the track, and he was kind of sitting between the two of you guys when you lit up. Are you going to get an opportunity to go for a wild ride in one of the NASCAR cars?
Well, the crazy part, I didn't get to do the ride share with them yet, but I did a ride share years ago with Martin Truex.
Okay.
Oh.
So I actually ride with Martin Truex. Me and him are pretty tight, and then he got to sit in our car. I took him down the strip in a 2-seater Super Comp car But I want to get him in our car where he could do a burnout and at least launch it on his own. And they'll be able to do it, but just so they can really see the experience.
Feel the power.
Feel it, because Tony Stewart's doing it, so it's really raising eyebrows.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of this interest from our brothers.
I was going to say
from our
Toyota
family members.
family.
Yes, from our brothers and our Toyota athletes, and to do that mix. And I think that'll be a perfect
That'd be pretty
mix.
cool. That'd be pretty cool.
It'll be a lot of fun because I like circle track racing, and I drive myself. Drove go-karts, drove in some circle track cars. I did some late model stuff, some dirt car stuff. So that's right in my wheelhouse too. But I like to get them in that straight line.
Yeah,
With
let
10,000
if
horsepower.
you launch it, that to me is where that would be where the big experience is. I mean, at the other end, 200 miles an hour is 200 miles an hour, but getting from there that fast to 200
Or a sub 1 second,
I
60
can't
foot,
imagine.
kind of.
Well, when you go from 0 to 100 miles an hour in 0.8 of a second, it gets your attention. But the hardest part is to get them to understand that's not where the ride is. It ain't the launch. Everybody always thinks the launch because they think of a normal aspirated car, the way it sets you back is when you get 550 feet down the racetrack
And the clutch.
and your clutch goes 1-to-1. When you're doing 290 miles an hour, like you're right at 300 at half track, the clutch goes 1-to-1, the G meter goes over 6 Gs. So you pull more Gs going
Half track.
like a half track when the clutch goes 1-to-1 where you're already doing 290 miles an hour than you did from going from 0 to 100.
Don,
so
we need
0
to
to
try
100,
that.
you're at 3.8 Gs. And the G meter progressively goes up. So the real ride is when you're doing 290 and the clutch goes 1-to-1.
Yeah.
Because you're like this, and you're like, oh, I can't pull no harder because you're literally about
Right.
4.2 Gs, and then the clutch goes 1-to-1, and it goes, bow, and then the G meter goes straight up over 6 Gs, and the car arches up and it snaps up off the ground, and then it feels like it's just trying to stay on the ground, but it's not. It's just hovering.
Yeah, and you see the middle of the chassis
Yes,
kind of bow up.
and that's when you start seeing them wiggle around because they're literally trying to come off the ground.
Wiggling around at 290 miles
But
an
isn't-
hour
isn't that
with
built in-
Antron Brown. Sounds like a TV show.
Isn't that design, though? It's a design for that to do for stress?
It's designed. I want to say it's designed to do that, because what's really happening is that when the car is arching up, a lot of people goes, oh, it's getting more traction that way. It's not getting more traction that way. What's happening is the back wing is getting so much aero on it for downforce, it's pushing the tires down in the ground to back. So the tires look D-shaped, like they're getting pressed in, right? The front end, the only reason why it's arching up is because the front wing is putting all the downforce to hold the front tires down, and they're only long for the ride. So what they're doing is going like this, and the back end of the car is really trying to break the chassis and run underneath of it. You get what I mean?
Right. It's trying to pull everything up.
So it's trying to go like this, and that's why when you saw
Leah
Dixon and Leah's car, when they have a chassis fail, they snap, and the car goes straight up in the air like that because the back end is trying to go like that. That's what it's trying to do. It's just like the car is not meant to do that. Like, we engineer it, and we're coming out with more fail-safes. We're changing some chassis specs for next year. We're going with bigger wall tubing and everything to make it so it can't let go like that.
But the things that you learned from Leah's failure last year, 2 years ago, that's what advances the sport as well and the safety of the sport.
They're always on that edge of advancing it, but when you have a shortfall, when something goes wrong like that, and a lot of it wasn't just a chassis failing, it's just the way the directional attitude of the car was, and then at the same time hitting bumps.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? And it caused it to twist up.
There's several effects
And
hit
then,
at the right
like,
time.
it just did, everything just happened right for it to do it. You know what I mean? But
How's
we
the
want to
track
fix
here?
it.
How's the track here for you?
The track, we went and walked it yesterday. It was wet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no
yesterday,
good.
but when I walked down the track, the asphalt looks awesome. I remember when they first put the asphalt in, it was real porous. It wasn't filled in. It's all filled in. The concrete looks really, really nice where they got it ground. So it looks, this track here, it's got some character to it. But I think it's going to be good. If the weather stays right, we'll be able to run hard and fast on it.
And for you, the asphalt is where the clutch is coming in 1-to-1, where that second acceleration happens. So that's even more important.
Top fuel rain tires.
Yes, well,
Goodyear
Goodyear Aqua Treads. but the thing of it is that was the problem like years ago when they put that asphalt in. This track was tricky. It was very, very, very tricky because the asphalt, it was brand new, and it wouldn't take the rubber in because the oil in it.
Right.
It's been dried out, seasoned, and when it dries out, then the rubber applies. So that's why concrete's always better than asphalt. Asphalt's good, but you got to let it get seasoned in.
It's not bumpy, is it?
No, it's got some little chatters, but they have grinded and took care of the bumps out there. Like if you look at the track, you can see where they did a lot of work to it, even on the transition, where they even made the transition smooth.
Trying to flatten it out.
Yes.
You have to go.
Yes. Yes.
So you go. We thank you so much for stopping by. It's a pleasure.
Always.
And, I guess next year when we see you, it'll be the Antron Brown team.
Yes. It'll be AB Motorsports. So thank you guys for that. Say a lot of prayers for us because we won't need them.
Always good.
We love you, man.
Thank you. Love y'all too. Thank you.
Okay, take care of yourself. Antron Brown, our guest here in our remote studio at Houston Raceway Park. Thank you again. It's good to see you, my friend.
Thank you.
And we'll have some more drivers coming our way here in the not too distant future. It's real difficult. It's been such a, because of the rain, there's been such a change in all of the schedules, including all of the race schedules.
That's awesome. He just stops with everybody, gets a selfie. Of
course.
He's
Absolutely.
so loved.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
That's cool.
All right. So at any rate, they're going to, what did I do with my sheet of paper? So 10:30 this morning is going to be pro stock. And then at noon, they're going to run the fuel cars. So right after pro stock, then
Somebody
they'll run
with a big loud
Yeah,
one's
it's
out there
9:30
right
and
now.
somebody didn't get the memo.
So you see, I had all of this prepared, and I didn't read a word of it because I got so excited when he showed up. I didn't have time to go through all of the Antron Brown stuff. But there's the huge
what a guy.
story.
Yeah, but he carries the conversation just
Exactly.
fine.
Yeah, we don't.
Just ask him a question. He's a wealth of information that's
Incredible.
so well rounded.
You
as
ask him
well.
what time it is, and he'll invention
Pretty
the
much,
clock. Yeah.
But a great driver, and we're going to work on qualifying today. There are 2 rounds of qualifying scheduled. They've moved the first round up, trying to avoid rain. And, you know, that's not unusual for the NHRA to do that. If there's a chance of rain, they want to make sure, as Seth Angel said when we first went on the air, to try to get both rounds of qualifying in today, despite the chance of rain. And I have to tell you, I am glad to see all of the people that are still coming out despite the chance of rain.
There's been a steady line of people I'm watching back here as well.
Yeah, the window there is where they come through the ticket booth.
Yes.
And you can just see a steady stream.
Yeah. So, you know, and somebody was asking, he came up earlier and said, listen, when do the sportsmen race? Well, the sportsmen aren't racing. See, this is the schedule that I had, and I printed this out days ago. Guess what?
Useless.
Useless.
The one I got at 6 o'clock yesterday.
Well,
is useless.
and the purpose is to get the all of the pro events in. So with that, they've the sportsman racing, because they start Thursday and go on Friday. All of that ended up getting canceled because the weather was so bad.
Well, yeah, and not only that, but you have to understand. I mean, there is a lot of pavement out here, you know, and the pavement is reserved for the pros. Back behind the pros is where the sportsmen park. And on the other side,
it's a little muddy at the moment.
It is. And so why exacerbate the problem and have all of these sportsman racers dragging the mud up into the staging lanes?
Exactly.
Thank you for that. So actually the weather is looking pretty good. And I noticed that it's getting lighter outside.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
And
I mean,
sun's
it's
coming out.
the
Not
mess
quite,
that
but
is
It's daytime.
out in the Gulf of Mexico has decided to go down.
elsewhere.
Yeah,
well, we
elsewhere.
are in the dry slot right here through Baytown.
We are in the dry slot. By the way,
Hashtag dry slot.
Before I miss this, I wanted to mention to you.
Say
I don't know
hi
whether
to
you.
Stan and Sheila. They're watching.
Hi, Stan and Sheila.
Hello.
Thank you all for watching. Wish you were here.
Yeah.
Did I say
Yeah.
that? Mazda is dropping the CX-3 crossover and the Mazda 6 sedan.
Oh,
Really?
What?
Yeah,
I love that Mazda 6.
I do too.
A good-looking car.
The only problem with Mazdas is their infotainment system. They really, really need to do something with that because
I like Mazda too.
it is absolutely the pits to try to understand it. I guess once you get
and you guys get to drive all of them.
All of them.
The thing I've learned by listening to you talk about them is how quickly you can learn the system in the week or so you have the car. Some of them you're real good with right off the bat. Others, you haven't figured it out after a week later in the car, and I imagine Mazda was one of those.
well, I'm going to have the BMW M5 review, and that's one that you'll be interested to hear.
Thanks, Katie.
Thank you, my KK. Yes.
Hello,
All right,
Katie.
it's time to take a quick break. So we're going to do that. Again, we're coming to you from Houston Raceway Park and the NHRA Spring Nationals out here, and we appreciate you joining us today. So quick break now, and we'll be right back. So stay with us.
Houstonian-owned Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the most sought-after models in the Houston area today. When you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, you now have a place to go. General Manager Lincoln Stahl guarantees Bayway will beat any competitor's written price on the new vehicle you choose or pay you $1,000. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is easy to get to on Highway 225 near Beltway 8 in Pasadena. Whether it's online or in person, you're welcome like one of the family. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.com. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, June 19th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free, and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupe founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, June 19th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday morning, June 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy. Inside the Loop, visit Tailpipes and Tacos on the Southwest Freeway at Shepherd, weather permitting.
NHRA Camping World Drag Racing. It's an 11,000 horsepower Nitro Rodeo coming to Houston Raceway Park in Baytown. Catch all the Nitro and Pro Stock action at the Mopar Express Lane NHRA Spring Nationals presented by Pennzoil this weekend. Matt Hagan, Leah Pruitt, Erica Enders, 3-time world champ Steve Torrance, and 16-time himself John Force. Kids 12 and under are free in general admission. Get tickets at HoustonRaceway.com. Houston's got horsepower.
Don't miss the first ever Houston Summer Auto Show, May 19th through the 23rd at NRG Center. A limited edition collection of your favorite brands and models, including the new Ford Bronco and Jeep Grand Wagoneer. Tickets online only at HoustonAutoShow.com.
Welcome to the In Wheel Time Car Show, your all things automotive place. And welcome also to the NHRA Spring Nationals at Houston Raceway Park in Baytown, Texas. Along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeff Seekin, Chief Engineer David Ainsley, I'm Don Armstrong. Today's broadcast, by the way, is sponsored by Toyota, the official car of the NHRA. You know,
cool stuff.
Listen, I've had so much stuff. Can you see this stack of papers?
Let's look at it.
That's today's show.
Wow, busy guy.
And I'm supposed to have all of this in order. Well, it just got all thrown out the window because of today's moving everything around.
Schedule
The
changes.
schedule has changed.
But we're here. That's the main thing.
Amen.
Yeah. So with me now is a fellow by the name of Slugger. Last name, please.
Labby.
Labby.
Pretty simple.
Okay. Yeah, I know. Well, with an ins and an E, I was LaBay.
Right.
Labby.
I can understand.
So forgive me.
It's all good.
So Slugger is the man, and he has been in racing forever. Can I say that?
Yeah, 35 plus years.
Yeah, something
Yes.
like that.
Wow.
And did you grow up in NASCAR?
I did. So back when I was just growing up, my dad was a weekend warrior on the NASCAR North Series back in Maine. And I always wondered where he was at night and weekends because basically he was off racing. I was growing up as a kid. So when I turned 16, I started getting more interest, more so than hating him being gone all the time. I figured I would join him and
Travel with him.
Yeah, so that my first race I went to with my dad in Thunder Road in Barry, Vermont, we won. And it really from that.
Nice
yeah.
first trip.
Yeah, so I was like.
Sure, he wanted you to come back,
Yeah,
too.
I was like, well, this is easy. Let's do this again. So that really started, my interest level into NASCAR and just racing. So eventually just moved away from Maine in 1989. We had run the Oxford 250, which is a big north-south combination race. And then after that, the race ended, I asked a friend of mine from North Carolina, I said, hey, I need to send something back to North Carolina. They're like, yeah, whatever you need. And the guy says, what is it? And I said, me. So I had $1,000 in my pocket and a suitcase, and away I went. And that's how my career in the South started.
You were crew chief in various different, but you ultimately wound up as crew chief. You were involved in 500 NASCAR races?
Yeah, so as a crew chief and over 1,100 as a NASCAR member. So I've been to a lot of races, seen a lot of things, and that's what's great with my job in TRD is that I've seen so much over my experience in NASCAR that would try to bring some of that technology to the NHRA series. So it's great for me to be involved with TRD and all the drivers and that we support and others, and working with NHRA. We try to implement a lot of the things that we've learned along the way in the NASCAR series.
Well, Toyota and TRD weren't involved at the very beginning of your career.
Right.
And so you've obviously made a connection with them over the years. When did that all take place?
So I've been working for TRD for the last almost 4 years. So basically a good friend of mine, Andy Grays, who's the manager for the TRD side in North Carolina, I was burned out, honestly. If you go back to the NASCAR days, I was a crew chief for 20 years, and when you're a crew chief in NASCAR, you work 7 days a week, 90 to 100 hours a week. You wear a big target on your back.
Say everybody's mad at you.
Everybody's pissed, and just nothing ever goes right. So even when you win the race, it's still not good enough, right? So you're only as good as your last race. So, seeing my family suffer, like when I was a little kid, when my dad was always gone, my kids were going through the same thing. So one day after Bristol with Austin Dillon, I just called my wife and I said, this is it. I don't feel like doing this anymore. And if you lose that passion, there's no sense to do it. So it was time for a change. I did a little bit of stuff for NBC Sports. I was an on-air analyst. Really enjoyed that. But then and when Andy called me, he's like, hey, I want you to come over and help the NHRA series. Bring some of our technology over to them. Bring your wisdom and experience and work with those guys. So we did that almost 4 years ago. And one thing I quickly learned when I got in this garage was, like, these crew chiefs know a lot about clutches and engines. I don't need to get involved in that. I don't need to learn about that because that's completely different from my background.
Absolutely.
So my approach was to be another set of eyes, come in and pay attention to things that the crew chiefs weren't. Tires, chassis, safety, headers, just aerodynamics, just different things.
Team interactions.
Yeah. So, hey, think about this. And, it took a while for the crew chiefs to get comfortable with me.
You.
Yeah, because here I was coming in, and I stood back for a couple weeks and just watched and tried to absorb. Because I've only been to 1 or 2 drag races. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But
you're a NASCAR guy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
so,
what do you know?
Yeah, right. So we go in circles. These guys go straight. So
exactly.
Completely different environment, but a lot of the things do apply. So we just took a while for the crew chiefs to get comfortable with my involvement, and probably about 3 months into it, they started, interjecting more and asking questions, and we started making their tools better. And when I say tools, it's the support tools that we have from, all the track information that we give them, the weather analysis, tuning programs, many, many different things that we do for the teams. And, TRD is no different than anybody else. We participate in the sport of drag racing for 20 years now, and it's a great involvement for us. But the tools that we provide, we want to be the best, right?
Sure.
We want to be better than everybody else. Mm-hmm. So we work really, really hard to give factual information to the crew chiefs. We have 2 engineers that run up and down the track all the time getting information. We put all that information in spreadsheets along with weather and different formulas that we have, and try to give them what they can run for ETs. We try to give them as much useful information to make the best decisions.
Well, and a lot of that's just about data, and if they have other people acquiring data for them in a format that they use, it just makes them better.
Sure.
Because then they don't have to focus on it. They can trust you.
Or maybe they weren't doing
that.
it to begin with.
Well, like I said, it's another set of eyes, right? Just come in, hey, put a different spin on it. Look at it this way. I don't want to get involved in clutches and engines, but we want to help you use the other tools to complement your clutches and engines, right? So, in a day like today where the weather's going to be changing all day long, water grains up and down, we're hoping our information that we provide to our crew chiefs will be very beneficial to help them make the right decisions when they get up to the water box.
So, but you've also learned a ton coming to NHRA. You're talking water grains. Did you ever talk water grains in NASCAR?
No, not at all. But you certainly, you pay attention. It's free, right? And that's the biggest thing I did when I got here 4 years ago, was just absorb it all. And I went right to the crew chiefs and said, look, I don't know anything. Please help me. And John O. and Tommy Delago, they were probably the ones that wrapped their arms around me the most when I got here and really just paid attention. And, of course, Nicky Bonafonte was very good as well. And just, man, there's so much to absorb in drag racing because it's completely different. But
every
run's different. And still today I learn so many things. And my notebook gets longer and longer and longer of things that I want to work on to help these guys do a better job.
Did you ever run across in all of your NASCAR days what you run across here and you've got more horsepower than you can actually put down to the ground?
No, it's, we're restricted in NASCAR a lot now because, the speeds are way too high for NASCAR's,
view
mentality.
Of the world,
yeah,
right?
So it's definitely different. And we've seen a lot of NASCAR drivers come over to the events and watch and listen. And Tony Stewart's been driving here lately. And there's a lot of cool things that, NHRA guys or NASCAR guys are learning a lot from this sport, and they're getting a lot of interest. So NHRA sport is definitely taken off. The fans are back now in the stands, and that's great. TV ratings are getting better and better every week, and it's great. And, for me is I don't like it when our cars go out and smoke the tires, right? I feel like when that happens, we let them down. So we go back to work and work harder on coming up with a better solution to give them the best information.
Well, and that's all clutch management.
Right,
as you know, which
well,
you didn't really have to,
the track,
which you really didn't have to worry too much about in NASCAR.
Right,
and so and you say that you don't really have anything to do with the engine or clutch side of it, and you leave that to the crew chiefs. Is that how you do that?
We do. The crew chiefs have to make that final decision, and again, we try to get our information to the crew chiefs as soon as they can, so they can formulate everything into one big analysis to make the right decision.
Yeah, you're giving them information to make decisions on. You may not be actually deciding, okay, this is how you're going to run the clutch. You're just saying, here's what's out there. Now you figure out how your clutch works the best under these circumstances.
So our information pretty much complements their setup.
So how is your relationship with the Coletta bunch?
It's strong, that because Coletta's has bled Toyota forever, and to come in and help those guys, they were like, Andy Graves said, hey, here's Chad Head. You're going to work with him. And it's been fun working with Chad. He's been in the sport for a long time, much like myself, and he's a wealth of knowledge. And we do a lot of cool things for the funny car, because it is a Toyota Camry. And we work really hard. We take it to the wind tunnel, the rolling roads. Wind tunnel, we blow the speed at 200 miles an hour, and we try to find a performance advantage in a wind tunnel, just for an example of some of the things that we do. But we've helped Coletta's design different chassis by running different CAD models. To make improvements for reaction time and also getting the rear tires going forward, and there's definitely a lot into it. We've built header calculators, just different things to help our teams get better.
How have you had a relationship, I assume, with Connie?
Yeah, Connie's pretty cool. He's a rad man, and actually last week in Charlotte, Kyle Busch got to meet Connie as well.
Right,
and
I saw that.
Yeah, Connie was pretty impressed by meeting Kyle, but Connie is he's a unique individual. He just he wants to go fast, and it doesn't matter what happens. If he blows an engine up, it's because he was trying to be the best. And to Connie, it's fun walking in his trailer, looking at all the destruction and parts that are blown up because Connie's our guy.
And the things he learns from it, though, too.
Yeah, but what's funny was when Mobil 1 came into the sport, they decided they wanted to build a better engine oil. And we did all the testing on Connie's car because we knew that Connie would push the limits and push the Mobil 1 lubricant to the extremes, and certainly he did.
Well, you mentioned Kyle Busch. I saw his video after he started. Is it J.R.
Todd's, yeah.
Funny car, and just that kid grin on his face,
sure.
And the smells and stuff. That was pretty awesome to see. You blending the NASCAR guys into the NHRA guys.
I know when I first went to my first couple events, I was all up on the starting line right by the cars, taking it all in. Now I'm like 20 feet back. I'm kind of like, there's a lot of stuff that happens here. I don't need to be a part of this. So.
Yeah. So do you have a TRD team meeting with all of the drivers and the cars, with everybody together at the same time?
So
Does that ever happen?
So typically we meet with the crew chiefs. We go over the past history of what's happened. And say, like at Houston, we give them a breakdown of what lane typically is better, or if one lane leans to the left or the right, the profile, if there's bumps or dips in the racetrack. we review all that. And a lot of times the drivers, after they make their run, they'll come up in the TRD trailer. We'll pull up their video that we make, and
Review.
then we pull up the data and simply just go over what the driver just did. You know, my common saying to them is like, you know, I'm going to be honest with you. You make the lines, and I just tell you what the lines say, right? So we just give the drivers an honest opinion of, hey, this is what happened on your run. So, you know, the crew chiefs are always worried about the next round, and they don't have time to really sit down with the drivers.
Yeah, they're looking forward, not
right.
behind them.
Yeah, and that's the thing I always tell all the teams, like, look, you focus forward. That's your job when you're at the racetrack. So the drivers will come in and hang out with us in our trailer and just, you know, just download and have an honest conversation.
So how many data lines, because you're showing them graphs of what's going on as the vehicle, how many different data lines will you have available on a graph, though you may not show them all at one point, but to go over them?
Yeah, so basically in the model that we have, there's at least 30 parameters that we can pull up, and it all depends, you know. The biggest thing is we look at the dry shaft and we look at the lateral to see if the driver's steering, if he's, you know, if they smoked the tires at 600 feet, was it something the driver did by trying to get the car straightened back up or whatever it may be. So one of the coolest things that we do is on Thursday we measure the tracks and we check the profile of the track for bumps and dips. So basically what that means is we take that information, we put it in the race back data. So if a driver goes out and he blows the tires off at 400 feet, we can
Identify
if that bump had something to do with that. And sometimes, you know, the crew chiefs will realize that, hey, there's a bump at 700 feet. We better take some timing out or do some different clutch applications. So
yeah,
just
don't let this happen here because that's the wrong spot.
We just say, hey, look, be aware, alert that there's a situation on a track at 700 feet that you need to be prepared for.
You get information from your own teams. Can you gather information from the competitors that are running out there and what you see?
Everything that happens when that gate opens is analyzed.
Okay.
It has to be. And we constantly build a big database to prepare our teams when we come back. So basically, before we even get here, we have a playbook, and we typically, like I said, we know the trends and the history of the track and who runs good at this track, who doesn't, and you know who's got the best reaction times and all those things. Everything goes in a big database, and it's constantly updated all the time.
Are you not thrilled to be over here on the drag racing side instead of the circle track side? That's a whole new challenge for you.
Well, 4 years ago when I started, NHRA was my main goal. This was my assignment. And the last couple of years, they've thrown the Truck Series at me, the Xfinity Series. So, so I was just watching practice going on in COTA. So, you know, Texas is a big weekend for us. You know, we have the race going on in COTA. We have everything going on here. You know, we build the trucks in San Antonio. We got our TMNA headquarters in Plano. So Texas.
You're going to move here, aren't you?
Oh, geez, who knows? Who knows what tomorrow brings, right? But today we're focused on participating in this event and being low qualifier both in Top Fuel and Funny Car.
Great. Slugger, it's great to have you here.
You talk about bringing a history of the track. How does it affect your history database when they grind it and try and smooth it out? Do you throw all that out, or you still?
Well, no. So basically, we look back at the past history, and then we can tell exactly what they did for improvements, and then we can put that into the formulas as well.
You try and make some allowances, adjustments, rather.
Yep.
You know, because of the improvements they've done, but still, you got to have a base to work from.
You do, and it's got to be factual information. You know, I always tell my guys, garbage in is garbage out, right? So if you don't give them the right, accurate information, we're wasting our time. We shouldn't be here. So I constantly pushed our engineers, this information before you release anything via text or whatever it may be, it has to be factual.
I know you got to go. We thank you so much for stopping by and talking to us. It's a real pleasure and an honor to meet you.
Thanks for having me. And again, NHRA Series has definitely changed my outlook of motorsports because I never realized that you can tear up so much crap in 3.5 seconds. It's awesome. I love it. Thank you, guys.
Love you.
Thank you very much.
We really appreciate it. Slugger Labby, and he is with the TRD folks all here, and thank you, sir. We appreciate you. And our next guest is going to be the president of the NHRA, Mr. Glenn Cromwell. And did we lose him, or did he get sidetracked? Is he taking pictures with somebody?
No, I think he's around here somewhere.
Okay. Well, we're just going to
probably taking pictures, signing autographs.
That's what I'd do.
Kissing babies.
Kissing babies.
That's what I'm going to do later.
Okay. Well, that's all fine. Well,
sign autographs and kiss babies.
So did he leave? Hello, Mr. Mars. Did Glenn leave? Did Glenn leave?
He's coming.
Oh, he's getting some coffee. Okay.
That's what they're calling it. There's a bar right around the corner.
Well, What are those things with the scotch and the coffee?
Coffee. Yeah,
Coffee.
Yeah, it's just coffee.
Okay, good.
No, those are. Gosh, what are they?
Coffee.
No, they're good. That's what
They are. Yeah, that's, especially with the whipped cream on
Oh,
top
man.
and all that.
And, yeah, cherry.
So just to let you know, while
There he
we're
is.
waiting for Glenn here,
There's Glenn.
that we are coming to you today live from the NHRA Spring Nationals out here at Houston Raceway Park.
What an
Joining us
event.
now is the president of the NHRA, Glenn Cromwell. Glenn, it's good to see you.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good.
How's the weather?
The weather is perfect.
the sun is coming out.
It is beautiful,
The sun's coming
sunny.
out. Yep.
We're running cars.
Cars
Fans
been
are
down
coming
the track,
in. There's a
right?
lot of excitement. I
Yeah.
was just walking around the Midway and the Nitro Pits with Seth Angel, who's the owner of the facility.
what a
and,
guy.
he's done a great job, hasn't he?
Well,
I mean,
he told me that it was almost as if you two were dating this past week because you've spent so much time together with the weather forecast. And, unfortunately, we go through these bouts, especially in the spring, and we also go through it in the fall. But it just so happens that this is the week NHRA is here and it's going to rain.
No. We're in a dry slot right
We're
now.
a dry slot.
Yes.
That's the word.
That's
of
the
the
word
day.
that they
That's the
use,
word,
right?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the dry slot. That was new for me. So lots of changes since the last time that we talked to you here, especially with the COVID thing. Oh, my gosh. What an absolute nightmare. How is it, from a standpoint of the president of the NHRA, that deals not only with the racers, but also the tracks, the state, the local governing body, whatever that is, having to deal with the fans? We can only let so many people in.
And it
How do we
varies
sell
from event
tickets?
to event,
All
yeah.
of this stuff that you've acquired through COVID. Thank you very much, COVID. I mean, it's got to be a nightmare.
Well, listen, you saw me, 2 years ago?
Yes.
And I look like I've put on about 10 years.
Yeah, you
We
do.
were,
Yeah,
we're
at
trying
least.
not to say that. It's the lights. It's the lights.
It's
Yeah,
the
it's the
lights,
lights.
right? No, it's listen, it's been a challenge for everybody. You
Right.
know, personally, professionally. You think of all of our fans, but as I tell everybody, there's something special, and I will say this the rest of my life. There's something incredibly special about the NHRA.
Yep.
And the stakeholders in the community, and I came from a different motorsport before I joined NHRA in 1997. And
You did?
yeah.
Where were you?
I worked over at Feld. I did Supercross and
Okay.
some of that, and and it was great. Don't get me wrong, but there's something incredibly special about the people here. And when things aren't going well, people pull together.
Exactly.
And they come together and they help. I mean, I always say it's it's kind of like a team that maybe struggling going from second round to third round or to the finals, and maybe it's a single car team that just doesn't have the resources. You see other people come in and help.
Yeah.
It's help. And
What
I've never
sport does that?
What sport does that?
Nobody.
Right? I mean, they're usually but here they do that, and I always use that example of. That's kind of what we've gone through the last 14 months, and our fans have stuck by us. We shifted our schedule, I think, 3 times in 2020, and that's no easy feat, right, for our fans to go through. But our tracks were incredibly flexible, and our race teams, I will tell you, from our sportsmen to our professional race teams, have been incredible, and they've all stuck together. And we've had a lot of communication. Sometimes we agree. Sometimes we don't, but at the end, everybody pulled together, and I don't think you look at 2020, we were able to get 11 events in, 9 during
Which is surprising.
COVID,
Right.
which
Yeah.
is surprising. But I don't think that happens if you don't have tracks, fans, race teams, and sponsors that are all kind of behind you and supporting you.
It's the
And
ingenuity of
flexible,
planning.
and flexible
And
to
being
deal with the situation.
flexible, adapt.
Ingenuity of planning. Yep.
It is, and we had. We always believe communication is the key to success, right?
Right.
And what we sat down in March when this actually hit of 2020, we thought it was going to last for 2 weeks. Amazing, like all
We
of
all
us,
did,
right?
yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, we'll be right in Vegas in 2 weeks. Everything will be back normal. But we realized probably mid-April that, what we were up against. And we said the way we're going to get through this is communication. And we're going to have to communicate to the teams and all of our stakeholders literally almost on a daily basis. And we did. We did. And the team at NHRA, all of our employees, but our leadership team is incredible. I mean, we all pulled together. and took a certain level of responsibility. We broke out, Ned Walliser and Kristen Winslow handled a lot of things for us on the track side. Josh Peterson worked really closely with the race teams. We had someone handling the media and the employees. So really the teams, they stepped up.
Well, that's what a leader does, is delegate as well, and then coordinate.
They do a great. You got to have a good team, right?
I can only imagine the bill from Zoom. I mean, the Zoom calls must be out the wazoo. I want to ask you about some news that I came across this week, that you guys are going to split up with NHRA headquarters in Glendale and also in Indianapolis.
So we have an office in Glendora, California. Glendora. Yes. It's about 5 miles from the Pomona.
Uh-huh.
And through COVID, what we own a facility there, and as we looked at it, we have less employees today. The workspace and going forward, the way people are going to work, whether it's remote or hybrid, we have space, and we felt, listen, is it better to just sit there on all this space, or is there a better business decision to make that if you can sell it and we can put that capital back in the sport and invest in different areas of the sport that we need coming out of COVID, that's the best place to do it. We can lease back. Plus, we have looked, a lot of our employees that we currently have are choosing to go to Indy.
A lot of teams are based there.
A lot of teams are based there, which makes total sense.
Right.
Jeffrey Young, of marketing and media, moved there about 2 months ago. As we rehire people back from COVID that we've lost positions, we will make those hires back in Indy, and we will invest in that track, in that facility. And to your point, that is our teams. We've got our teams there. We do think other teams will start going there, and really could be a base of where it's out of. But I think the one thing I will say is, we have no intentions of leaving Southern California. We will always have.
That's where you're home. That's where everything
that's
was
the
started.
heritage.
Yeah.
That is our heritage. That's where Wally started it. We will have a base there, whether it's called headquarters or not, what the future brings. But we will have a place in Southern California as long as I'm here.
And it's nice to see California opening up as well.
It is.
Allowing you probably to get back to Pomona at the end of the year, but also Sonoma. That's back on the schedule because California kind of shut you down last year.
Yeah, they did.
A little bit. Yeah, that's one way to put it. Yeah.
You guys want to come and join us in California?
No, but we certainly would join you in Indianapolis.
Yeah. Well, just to clarify, so we are excited. We are seeing the state open up. We do think come June 15th we're going to get some great news from Governor Newsom, and what we have done. Actually, Pomona, for the finals, we actually took the Winter Nationals, ironically, and that will be run on July 30th, August 1. So the Winter Nationals will, for 2021,
be in the
become
middle of the summer.
The Summer Nationals. So the Western Swing will actually be Denver, Sonoma, Pomona. So
it's Christmas in July.
It is, and we'll got some exciting news that we're gonna send out here shortly. But
you don't want to break it on our show.
We do a little racing at night. Kind of like the old days in Southern California.
In Houston, right? Houston's coming back in the fall.
No.
I wanted to commit.
Nice try.
Nice try, Jeff.
All right.
You stunned me with that silence. I'm like, huh?
He knows something that I don't.
Have you been talking to Seth Angel? He didn't mention that on all those phone calls that I had.
It's a plan.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you expect here this weekend? I know that the schedule changed overnight, that we've moved pro qualifying up, and it obviously allows some more time just in case it does rain. We've been very fortunate so far. It's looking good. Radar's looking good. We're keeping our fingers crossed. So to get 2 rounds of qualifying in today, and I assume that was the plan, is to make it all fit in the day.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what we have seen, a lot of our fans, the majority, they come early.
Yeah.
They come early.
We come early.
Right.
Yeah, we did.
I mean, I got here early, and I've watched people coming in, and, we had scheduled, I believe, 1:30 for Nitro, 12 for Pro Stock, I believe, somewhere in that range. And we said, hey, listen, if we can get 90, 95% of our fans are here by 10 a.m., 11 a.m.
Let's start a little
Let's
early.
start. Let's
Absolutely.
look at the weather, and that works for everybody, right? It works for our fans, works for the track, and works for the race teams.
And it
the
sure
race
did.
teams are itching to get out here.
And
and
it
get,
royally screwed the in-wheel time schedule that we had planned. So, just saying.
We're happy to see everybody streaming in, though,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
No, it
yeah.
is. Well, I think that was the panic I got on myself. But we need you over here right now.
That was part of it, yeah.
Thanks, Don.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm just teasing with you.
No, I know.
Just one quick question, and you may not can answer it, but I mean, obviously you're a fan of the sport, the racing, but you're at your level, you're also the business guy. Do you ever get conflicted between the two? No.
No. I think it really helped me in the position I am. I mean, if you look at my background, I grew up around motorsports, not drag racing, but I grew up around SCCA. My dad, had an MGA twin cam and raced when I was a little kid, and so I've been around racing, like a lot of us, since we were
Grew
five.
up with it,
I
yeah.
grew up with it, and then, once I finished college, I went on and worked for Feld. It was called Pace Motorsports at the time,
Right.
And then of course is Feld. So I really learned, the promoter side of motorsports, right? The business side, and I touched every piece of it. Worked for a gentleman, Charlie Mancuso, great promoter back in his day, and really learned from him. And then when I came to NHRA, I started as a division director, and I think if you guys know,
And brought those skill sets
and
with
brought
you,
those
though.
skill sets, and you really learned the NHRA at the grassroots level, working with the junior drag racing, the Lucas Oil drag racers,
Right.
the Summit ET cars. I mean, you really learn. And
So you don't really have to separate the sport from the business because it's just one for you.
It's one for me. I grew up and I worked every piece of it. Worked on the television, the marketing, the operations. I understand the racing. I'm involved in at every level. I'm involved in working with PRO, and if there's issues on track, I get involved in it. I don't necessarily handle it. We have
Right.
two people, Ned Walliser and Josh Peterson, that are fully involved. But I think it's important.
For what they're doing, basically.
What they're doing.
Yes.
You have to. And as you said, you got to understand every piece of the business, and you got to know when to delegate. You got to put good people around you and let them do their jobs.
And congratulate on Camping World. That was
Yeah.
huge.
Yes.
And what a great blend that is with
that-
what happens at track as well.
Yeah, is that perfect? But
It
camping,
couldn't be more
I mean,
better, yeah.
we're a camping ground.
Well, yeah,
Right.
you
Just
go out
happen
there,
to
get on
drag
track.
race around camping.
Yeah.
But a big shout out to Marcus Lemonis. I mean, he really stepped in with.
How is he to work with?
He's great.
Because
is.
he just seems like he's
a fun guy.
Very focused.
Oh.
And he is out to win whatever it is. He's out to win, kind of like drag
Yeah,
racing.
he is exactly. Don't get in his way, because he is going 300 miles an hour, and don't get in the way. And
Yeah.
he's got things in his mind. I did a call with him just 2 weeks ago on a project that we're working on, and it's amazing how much he knows about this sport. I was blown away. Now,
Has he been to a drag race?
He has not. He was going to come to Gainesville. But of course, that was still mid-March,
Yep.
and people were still getting the vaccine. He was not fully vaccinated at that time, so he just, wasn't comfortable. But I know he's going to come out soon, and a lot of people are like, well, he doesn't really know. He does the trucks over at NASCAR, but it's amazing how much he is engaged with our sport at all levels: the fans, the tracks, the drivers. I mean, he really knows.
Yeah, I want to see his face standing between two nitro cars when they start up and head down the track.
We all do. We'll make sure that's on
That is
Fox.
such a great face.
Yeah.
Glenn, it's great for you to come by. We really
No.
appreciate you. And
Thank you,
thank you
guys.
very much. And what a great event. And we sure are glad that you still keep coming back to Houston, and hope that'll remain that way for years to come.
Well, thank you for you guys for everything you do. You do a great job
Thank you.
helping us promote the sport, pushing it forward, and just thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
Be
Wish
safe.
you lots of
Yep.
success.
Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. Glenn Cromwell, he's the president of the NHRA, and obviously you can tell by the sound of the exhaust out there on the racetrack that the racing
Cars
is
are on the track.
on the track. So that's also
So
good
you need to
news.
get here.
Well, yeah, come on out. We'd love to have you. And we need to take a break, okay?
Yes, sir.
So this is the In Wheel Time car show coming to you today from the NHRA Spring Nationals in Baytown. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Houstonian-owned Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the most sought-after models in the Houston area today. When you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, you now have a place to go. General Manager Lincoln Stahl guarantees Bayway will beat any competitor's written price on the new vehicle you choose or pay you $1,000. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is easy to get to on Highway 225 near Beltway 8 in Pasadena. Whether it's online or in person, you're welcome like one of the family. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.com. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, June 19th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free, and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupi founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, June 19th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Lupi's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday morning, June 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupi's in Katy. Inside the Loop, visit Tailpipes and Tacos on the Southwest Freeway at Shepherd, weather permitting.
NHRA Camping World Drag Racing. It's an 11,000 horsepower Nitro Rodeo coming to Houston Raceway Park in Baytown. Catch all the Nitro and Pro Stock action at the Mopar Express Lane NHRA Spring Nationals presented by Pennzoil this weekend. Matt Hagan, Leah Pruitt, Erica Enders, 3-time world champ Steve Torrance, and 16-time himself John Force. Kids 12 and under are free in general admission. Get tickets at HoustonRaceway.com. Houston's got horsepower.
Don't miss the first ever Houston Summer Auto Show, May 19th through the 23rd at NRG Center. A limited edition collection of your favorite brands and models, including the new Ford Bronco and Jeep Grand Wagoneer. Tickets online only at HoustonAutoShow.com.
God, help me. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In Wheel Time Car Show special. Today, coming to you from the NHRA Spring Nationals in Baytown, Texas. Just ahead, we talk to more of the stars of the professional drag racing world. We'll also have the stories making auto news headlines this week. Got another car review somewhere. We're going to squeeze that in the next couple of hours. It's all just ahead on today's In Wheel Time Car Show. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeffrey Zekin over by the window. I don't know what he's doing over there. David Ainsley back here. I'm Don Armstrong. And today's show is sponsored by Toyota, official car of the NHRA. I wanted to do a car review while we're waiting for our next guest.
Yes, we should do that.
Is that okay?
Yeah, we should do that here because hopefully things are going to pick up here pretty quick.
Well, yes. I think that they're picking up out there.
Oh, yeah,
really quickly. She need. Can you excuse me, gentlemen?
Sure.
Well, you've got the car review, but we'll cover for you while you're talking. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We have a few more guests coming up out of the NHRA Corral. Justin Ashley will be joining us at 10:30, and Alexis DeJory at 10:45.
Yes, sir. So we got
and Don may be back, but we're not quite sure. He's back, but his mic isn't on.
Well, and they changed the schedule. Erica Enders was going to join us at 10:30, but
she's on track. They moved Pro Stock up to
so hopefully we'll get her in before the end of the broadcast.
Yes.
They know that we're here and she's not. So so right now,
thanks, Ray Ray.
You're very welcome. How did you know that?
Is Ray Ray going to do the interview?
No. She only comes out in special occasions, and this is not one of those occasions.
Too much stress at the moment.
Right now, yes. I can't find papers. I've got a stack of papers here. I can't find anything.
Hey,
because
David,
the whole thing has
he
changed.
needs some papers.
Yeah, somebody get him some papers.
Let me have that. Don't leave that alone. It's mine. God. Time now for this hour's car review on the In Wheel Time program. I had a chance to drive the 2021 BMW M5. There's only one trim level, and that's the M5. But I had the competition option.
The hot rod.
The hot rod. Mid-size sedan, seats 5 people. All new in 2017. Refreshed front and rear styling. It's got a bigger touch screen in the inside as well. The exterior on the car, well, it has a carbon fiber roof, straight line sides on the car, blacked out grille and lower valance, quad exhaust. What I liked about it, the golden brake calipers.
Golden brake calipers.
They're gold.
But those calipers were clamping on some carbon fiber brake discs.
They were, and it is an $8,500 option.
Whoa.
Yeah.
They better be gold.
$8,500. Well, that's what I figured. They painted them gold. Because, most brake calipers these days are red or
Some
yellow.
are yellow, right.
I like the gold.
You would.
I'm thinking about maybe painting the Corvette calipers gold. I kind of liked it that much.
Get some Krylon paint.
It'd be a little too much, I think. But whatever. Nothing could use improvement on the outside appearance. I love it. Interior highlights, configurable dash layout, and a standalone infotainment screen. I got more to say about that in a minute. M5 labeling on the leather seating, competition door sill announcement.
So it sprays a light on the floor?
No. It just, on the door sill, it says
competition.
BMW M5 competition.
Oh, okay.
Carbon fiber accents on the center console and door panels. And no, it's not fake. It's the real chili.
That car was pull me over red, though. That was a bright red M5.
It was red.
That was beautiful.
It was. Mars needs to do the on-ramp acceleration test.
I would love to do some research.
And I'm sure that the Port Arthur Police Department would love to pull that car over with you in it.
Neederville, Port Arthur, Beaumont, Winnie,
Orange,
of them.
Yeah, all of those places. What I liked about it was the German business-like racing layout. I mean, this is a serious, go-fast, road course race car in every stretch of the imagination. It is awesome. What could use improvement? Well, and that's what I wanted to tell you about. The adjustments that are located within the touchscreen itself. There are so many in there. My astrophysicist daughter said, as she's punching through all this stuff, like lickety-split, Dad, this is an awful lot of stuff. Do you think that you? No, I can't. Not only do I not want to get involved in that, you just stay over there and make sure that you don't hit anything that says competition, race, or anything like that.
Yeah, because within there's engine, there's transmission, there's brakes, there's traction control, there's yaw control.
All of that.
There's suspension. All of those things are adjustable in that kind of a car.
There's even a quarter on the side so you can make a phone call, I think. I mean,
this quarter, yeah, right, and a dial phone.
Too many adjustment options, but if you're a tech person, by golly, I think that this is your car because it is nothing but tech. 4.4-liter turbocharged V8 engine that turns out 600 horsepower. Now, I had the competition.
Of course, the top of the line.
The competition was 617 horsepower. Now, at the 600 horsepower level, I want to ask you, can you feel the extra 17 horsepower? I doubt it.
I'd like to try.
Mike could
on the on-ramp acceleration test. 553 pound-feet of torque, 8-speed automatic transmission, all-wheel drive. Now, I didn't have the Monroney. This is what I was given. Can you see that?
No, we're in the
Okay, never
video.
mind. That's okay. Just leave it there. So I got basically a printout of all of the options that are on it, and it is massive.
And the cost of the options?
The competition package alone is $7,600.
Worth every
The
penny
driving
of it.
assistance plus package is $1,700. I also had the executive package just for me. That was $3,350. As I mentioned earlier, the carbon ceramic brakes were $8,500.
Nice.
Bowers and Wilkins Diamond Surround Sound System was $3,400.
I've got all their albums.
The M Drivers Package, $2,500. The total suggested retail price after the $1,000 gas guzzler tax was $136,045.
There you go.
Chump change to you, David
Yeah,
Ainsley.
yeah.
But at any rate, there you have it. Now,
Cheaper than a transmitter.
You're back on if you want to hold that Maroni up.
the Audi RS7 is one of its competitors. That goes for $115,045.
It's a bargain.
The Mercedes-Benz AMG E63S sedan is $108,550.
Another bargain.
And the Porsche Panamera Turbo S, as I'm trying to get into the horsepower thing, and you have to, look at all this.
Yep.
The Panamera Turbo S is $179,050. So there you have it. That is the in-wheel time review of the 2021 BMW M5.
And the M5 is one of the vehicles they use at the Nürburgring in Germany to give taxi rides. You can pay a fee and get a professional driver.
I don't know
to
if I'd
drive
call
you.
it a taxi ride.
Well, they actually call it a taxi
ride
well,
along.
No, they actually call it the Nürburgring taxis.
To get from one side to the other.
No, just to take you out and scare the daylights out of you, because those guys all day long, that's all they do
Just
is
ride
drive
with
the
Mike.
ring.
I've been with some taxi drivers in Vegas that did that.
I heard of a taxi driver over there in Nederland, too. And
That's where you learn to
we
drive.
have one taxi.
So
you have one taxi?
We have one taxi.
And you drive it every
No,
week. It's
no.
a different car.
It's an M5.
I don't drive the taxi.
see, in Niederville, they don't have Uber, they have Goober.
We don't have.
There is that.
But the M5 has been the Nürburgring taxi for quite a number of years. So there is a
Interesting.
purpose for it, though you can't shake the car down in the United States like that. They do over there, so
I'll be darned.
there's that. Let's go for a ride over there. I'd love to go for a ride with
We'll do a
somebody
remote.
who
Me too.
knew what they were
Somebody
doing.
knew
Yeah.
what they
Knew
were
the
doing.
track and
Yeah.
knew
They
how
knew
to
how
really
to drive it.
get the most out of it. Yeah.
Is that anywhere near Amsterdam?
No, it's in the middle of Germany.
You would ask
I think-
about Amsterdam.
The coffee shop's in Amsterdam, right, Jeff?
That would
like
be the red
coffee.
light district, I believe.
I like coffee.
But we did
Lights.
the first time the Raptor showed up at one of the Texas Auto Truck Rodeo events. They said, you want to drive the Raptor? And I said, no, I want you to drive it. I want you to show me what it can do before I get behind the wheel.
Before you tear it up.
Yeah. And there wasn't no way I was going to drive it like what he did. I mean,
Tore it up.
He did. I mean, he just flat.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Yes,
And-
I've been on one of those before. And, there's something, I don't know what it was. It was the media PR guy for Ford that took me on a ride on a Raptor on that Texas Truck Rodeo thing. Not recently. This was several years ago. And I thought he broke it. I seriously thought he broke it. I mean, the doors were rattling on the thing. It was, seriously, got air underneath the tires.
Yeah.
I would have never driven that truck
That
out.
was probably at the Khedive Ranch when the first time.
Yes.
I did. Yeah, I had some old ranch roads, and a couple of them were pretty long, and they would wind that thing up. They'd be
Been off the top of the
Yes.
Rut roads. It was.
How much fun is that?
No, it
well,
wasn't actually. I didn't really enjoy it that much.
But
Because
it really showed
it
what the
doesn't
truck
have
would
race
do.
seats. I wasn't wearing a helmet.
harness.
It doesn't have roll bars in it. It's a truck for somebody like me, a novice, but not to run it across that rutted road and catch air.
Not like that.
Not like that.
Yeah.
But hey, he worked for Ford, not me.
He could tear it up. You
Yeah.
can't.
Kind of like the woman that was driving the Jeep Wrangler, and there was a section of the course that really went down into the river. Well, you're supposed to hug the bank of the river. What did she do? Drove it into the roof of the river.
Sunk it.
Sunk it. And the thing ran even afterwards. They had to change the oil in it, but it ran.
Yikes.
Yeah. And what was bad, she had somebody with him that he's the one that told her to do it.
Really? All right.
Well, you guys at the Texas Auto Riders have tore up a few cars in their day.
No, not them.
Yeah, I've
It's
heard
the other
some-
guys.
I've heard some stories about them tearing up
It's
cars in
the
their
other
day.
guys.
Yes, and some of them have been wrecked, and it's
Didn't-
been ugly.
Didn't they wreck a Viper?
That was a journalist that wrecked the Viper and actually flipped it into a ditch.
Oh, no.
And it was so bad that Dodge had to haul the thing back to Detroit and crush it.
It wasn't the Tiger Woods edition, was it?
It was not the Tiger. No, it was not. It was bad though. It was a bad deal. All right.
And you behave. You always behave because I always ask you if you flogged whatever
I
your
don't
latest
know.
toy
I
is.
don't. I
And
don't.
you always say no.
No, I don't. I don't do that. There's no reason to do that.
That's a marine term, isn't it? A water something?
Joining us now.
Okay. Yes.
Joining us now is Mr. Josh Hart. Now, Josh is the guy that made his Top Fuel debut at Gainesville and won his very first run that he was into.
That was exciting.
And, yeah,
Yes, sir.
just got through at the 4 wide races.
Runner it up, yeah.
Yeah. So he's been making some noise, quietly making some noise as he steps out into this world.
This is the new
Moving
guy.
and grooving.
The new guy.
This is the new guy. Josh, welcome to the In Wheel Time program.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. I saw you do an interview on Fox, and I thought, this is the mildest mannered guy in
In an 11,000 horsepower car.
Yeah, and he's racing. and you know, it doesn't get more intense than that. And he's like, yeah, it was a pretty good run. I felt really confident about it. But that's your style. That's your manner. That's who you are.
Yes, sir. Stay humble and get it done.
Hey, I love it.
And apparently you're getting it done.
Yeah. So how did this all come about? How did you get this ride this year?
We own the team, so my wife.
There you go. There you go.
Well, there's that.
Okay.
You just didn't start racing this year.
Thanks for
however.
coming.
No, sir.
You've been racing a while, and not at this level though.
No, sir. Bracket racing, then Super Comp, Super Gas, Top
Bracket
Dragster,
racing is fun.
A Fuel. Stayed in A Fuel for 5 years, and then decided to make the leap. And COVID shut us down for a year, so we had a year to prep for Top Fuel.
How fast does an A fuel car go?
285.
285. So this wasn't that big of a stretch. Now,
Pretty
Well,
good.
yeah.
well, as far as speed is concerned, because once you get past that 600-foot mark and it all kicks in, do you even realize anything past that?
Yeah, actually you do. The alcohol car kind of plateaus about 600 feet, so it doesn't pull anymore. The Top Fuel car will pull until it destroys itself. So.
Yeah.
Oh.
There is that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how long have you been racing? Why
this-
haven't I heard of you
Well,
before?
he doesn't look like he's old enough to be racing
Well, there
for
is
5
that.
years that and this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, 10 years. So
10 years. And
10
you-
years to Top Fuel.
10 years to Top Fuel.
That's sweet, though. That's nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You have to be good to do this. And clearly you are. I mean, you've made it this far.
I got a real good group of guys. So
Yeah. So where do all the guys come from? Did they come from different teams? Were they with you back in the other series that you were racing?
no, none of them carried over. Matter of fact, when we sold the alcohol car, we made sure that team stayed with that car so they could immediately use the same data.
That's good.
Yeah.
But Ron Douglas is the magician behind the curtain, so he populates the team, and he's done a fabulous job.
So how has it been on this ride right out of the box? You win the race. I mean, were you expecting to win the race?
But we go to every race expecting to win. We don't want to just qualify and call it good. That's not our gig. So a lot of planning in the off season and a lot of preparation to get there.
Yeah, like you said, you had basically had a year to get ready.
Yeah. And then we showed up. We wanted to look professional and hurt some feelings, and we did.
That's
So
a good way.
where do you call home track that you get an opportunity to test and tune?
So Gainesville is my home track.
Is it your home track? Okay.
But we never tested the Top Fuel car there almost for a year in between, yeah.
So during COVID, you didn't get an opportunity to test the car whatsoever?
Nope, I sat on the sidelines and played with the alcohol car.
Wow.
There's no simulator for this, is there?
No.
Yeah, the simulator would be dropping you from a 3-story building.
Pretty much. Well, I mean, you clearly have got the tree down at the pro level, with trick unto itself, because it doesn't go bing, 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 go.
No, it goes.
It goes bing, go.
No, it goes go.
Well,
Leave on yellow?
That's
Yeah.
why they call it go
yeah.
on yellow.
Yes.
So is the Fearless Racing on your shirt? Is that the name of the team?
Peerless.
That's
Fearless?
Fearless, yep. That's the name of the company.
Well,
Okay.
tell us about the company.
My wife and I formed it years and years ago, and everybody's got a fear, so we thought, well, let's make it fearless. And I wanted to see if I could drive with the best people, the fastest people in the world, and here we are.
So you guys have a pretty cool looking logo. You guys have merch,
Appreciate
right?
that. Yeah.
And merch is at fearlessracing.com.
JoshHartRacing.com.
JoshHartRacing.com. We'll make sure everybody
Yep.
knows that.
Get that posted.
Yeah.
And as far as the company goes, I mean, we've got some really great support. You know, HLC Trucking, OWV Excavation, TechNet Pros, and then just recently, BimetalBuildingsDirect.com came on board. But we've been able to maintain all of the same sponsors for my entire career, so 10 years.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Good
So
for you.
they've kind of watched you grow up through the system, and they know who you are. That's really good.
And supported you.
Yeah, really good foundation, really good support system, and we've got a great business relationship for the duration, I hope. So
Does the wife come with you on these?
most races, this is the first one she has not.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah.
You have children?
We have a 1-year-old.
Congratulations.
Yeah, she is the ruler of everything.
Oh, you bet.
That's
We
where
know
the
about
wife
that.
is.
Everything
yeah.
revolves around the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. What are you expecting here today? First of all, outside of Gainesville, I think that this is, 5 feet above sea level. So there's that.
Yeah.
But the water grains here are probably more than anything that you have ever felt in your entire life today, because it's sticky out there.
Yeah, I'm not the least bit concerned. I mean, we've got a great team and a great group of magicians in the pits that'll get it done. Even if we get one qualifier, we'll get from A to B, and then we'll turn up the heat slowly in eliminations.
Trust them to do all of the
Yeah.
mechanical, and you just sit in
Do
the
what
car
they
and
do.
Drop the hammer.
I'm the idiot that hits the gas. So
Are you involved in the tuning at all?
I try to stay out of it. I mean,
Leave the experts to do what they do.
That's
You
exactly
tell
right.
them what you know from the driver's perspective. This is what happened. This is what I felt, or something.
Yeah.
But other than that,
you know, if you drop a cylinder or something, you can tell them what you felt. Clutch pedal adjustments, you know, little things like that. I definitely give my feedback on that. But as far as the mechanical end, I stay away.
That's a good policy.
Have you ever wrenched on engines?
Oh yeah, yeah. I own one of the largest speed shops in the United States.
Sorry. Well, I mean, I really don't have a whole lot of information on him. He's
Yeah.
brand new.
yeah.
Bernie's Speed Shop in Ocala, Florida. It's 100,000 square feet of automotive heaven.
I guess he has turned a few wrenches then.
We could do a remote from there.
We could.
There's
Yeah.
probably a drag racing history in Ocala, Florida as well.
You think?
Yeah, I worked with Garlits on several engines. We build flatheads and Hemis and stuff together. So if you get bored, look it up. Bernie's Speed Shop.
I got it.
We're going to have to post that too.
So no, I stay quiet, and you know, I've had the rug yanked out from underneath me before, and my wife and I built this company from nothing. So just do my thing.
Well, we are thrilled to meet you and to have you on the. You bring a breath of fresh air to the sport. I mean, because at this level, you know, you get to interview you and get your name out there to our listeners and viewers. I mean, like I said, I've been following NHRA for a very long time.
Longer than you've been alive.
We'll just leave. And, you know, it's kind of unusual to see someone like yourself building a ground-up
Organization,
program
yeah.
that owns his own company, that gone out and got his own sponsors, and has a wife that supports him in the business.
And quickly successful.
Yeah, yeah.
know.
She's awesome. She's definitely the biggest part of the foundation. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And
been together 18 years. She was 17. I was 19. So
you know each other.
she knew what she was getting into.
Yeah. Now, did she at any time work at the speed shop with you?
Still does.
Still does.
Yep.
She runs the speed shop,
turns the
especially when you're
wrenches.
not there.
Yeah, she is the young lady that everybody fears when she steps onto the service floor. I'll tell you that.
Woo! Yeah. Okay. And you picked her.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
She's a worthy adversary. Worthy opponent.
So is that the area you grew up in? Was down there in that part of Florida?
No, we were from Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Really?
Yeah, we started Bernie's in 2010. So.
Only 2010.
Yep.
Wow, man. You've got this together. What did you do before 2010?
We had a small site development company that we sold out right before the economy tanked. In
So that was
2008.
good timing.
All in the
Good
timing.
timing.
Yep.
Yeah. And at what point did you move to Florida?
2010.
In 2000. Okay. So you sold everything, said goodbye. We're going to Florida.
Yep.
Starting Bernie's.
Yeah, the only thing I'd ever been sure about my whole life was playing the drums and fast cars.
No, we have a fellow drummer.
I like this guy even more.
Yeah. I felt like the ship had sailed on the drums, so I said, hey, let's do something with cars.
Yeah, see, if you didn't move to cars, you'd look like that.
You bet.
Both of them are drummers.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then there's us.
Yeah, well, we just get beaten.
That's true. Yes.
Kicked.
But anyway, it's
cool.
we're thrilled to have you here.
Thank you.
We thank you very much. So, you're backed by TRD?
No.
No.
They offered to have me on the show, and
figured it was worthwhile. You'd come talk to us. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Yeah. And so, what time are you going to do? Have you already done? You haven't done. I haven't heard any warm-ups yet.
they're waiting on me right now. So
you go.
Well, go.
Yeah, appreciate you
Josh.
guys.
Thank you very, very much.
Josh Hart, thank you so much. We really appreciate you. We got somebody.
Just getting started and already this successful.
David
That's
just
awesome.
pulled up Bernie's, and it's huge. It's enormous. Large.
Yeah.
Bernie's.
Got it. Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah. It's good to know. How are you? We got a headset there for you.
I feel like a doctor's office getting a patient.
Justin Ashley.
I'm here. What's going on, guys?
How are you?
You are.
I'm doing good.
It's great to see you, and thank you for stopping by. Have
Thank
you
you
already
for
done
having
your warm-ups yet? No.
We have, yeah. We just finished our warm-up a few minutes ago, so getting ready to go.
Well,
Yeah.
congratulations on landing Smart Sanitizer.
Thank you.
Out there.
Thank you.
Big deal for you.
That is. I appreciate it. It's all about, getting that money in and, investing a lot of it back into the program because we want to spend a lot of time with them activating because at the end of the day, it's about ROI. And they have a great product, and, we're able to get it in front of a lot of folks out here.
Where are you from?
New York.
Where?
Long Island.
Long Island.
Do we have another Long Islander?
No, I'm a Westchester County guy. Forgive me.
Listen,
Try not to hold it against them.
Well, he lives near the world's longest parking lot called the Long Island Expressway.
Yes, it doesn't move all that frequently.
But there's millions of people on it.
Well, you know who else is from Long Island? That'd be Ron Stein.
No, isn't it?
Friend of the show.
Y'all make a tea there, Long Island, an iced tea.
A Long Island iced tea.
No, I always laughed when I was younger driving on the LIE. The police cars had their bubbles, the light bubbles, on scissors that would rise up above the car because you couldn't see them unless they did something like that to get them up. So
that's weird.
Yeah. Well, it's
what was that? The 1950s?
No, it was probably in the 70s.
Okay.
Long before Justin was born.
You don't remember the 70s.
Yeah. So, how are things with you? Tell me about your team. You're relatively new on this side of the circuit. Your background, let me hear it.
Yeah, so for me personally, I started in junior dragsters. I raced in junior dragsters for a few years and then kind of just worked my way up through the ranks. I started bracket racing in top dragster and raced in top alcohol dragster and won a few races. And then a few years ago, I had the opportunity to team up with Davis Motorsports and get my Top Fuel license and start racing Top Fuel, which for me personally was, the ultimate dream. Top Fuel is the pinnacle of this sport.
Right.
So just to be able to sit in the car even to this day is amazing. I'm very grateful for that. And we brought on this year Mike Green, who came from Don Schumacher Racing and John Force Racing, and he has completely put his whole stamp on this program. And we're in a much better position today than we've ever been. We had a really good year in 2020. Won a race, won Rookie of the Year, but we established a good foundation for ourselves. But this year, I think that we took the next step, and we're going to do our very best to continue going in the right direction.
Mike Green's been around a while and been very successful as well.
He has, yeah. He's worked with a number of different drivers, a number of different teams, and he's a guy that's worked with guys like Tony Schumacher and Tommy Johnson Jr. So he's a guy that when he talks, you better listen.
Yeah. I'm sure that he's kicked your butt a couple of times for whatever reason. Having done this myself a few years back, I know how that could go. And sometimes we all need that. And, especially if, new to the ranks, as it were, it's good to have somebody like that. They can teach you lots of stuff.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the great things about Mike is he doesn't just tell you what to do. He teaches you what to do. And I think that's amazing. I'm all ears around him. I try and take in as much information and knowledge as I can because I just want to get better. I want to get better as a driver. I want to help our team win races, and everybody, top to bottom, from Mike Green to the rest of the Davis Motorsports team, is the same way. We all want to learn and grow together and get better.
And bringing experiences together and the way that they teach each other is what's going to make you successful.
Have you been going rounds?
Yeah, we have. So we started out in Gainesville. We went to the semifinals to start the year. We lost in the first round, the following race in Las Vegas. And then in Atlanta, we went to the quarterfinals, and we had Loey T the race. So for a program that's essentially new, since Mike Green came in, he's doing an awesome job. And, it takes a few races for everybody to get comfortable with each other, to gel with each other. And, as far as I'm concerned, we're only a few races in. I think we're even ahead of schedule at this point.
You talk like you've been doing this forever.
Years, I guess.
I know, but that's what I think is so amazing. I mean,
Thank
you have such a level of yourself so well. And I'm sitting here looking at you, and I'm really wanting to ask you how old you are.
You're not allowed to do that.
Well, I know. I said I wanted to.
They're not dating.
No, I'm 57. No, I'm just kidding. I'm 26 years old. My my dad, my dad raced Pro Mod and Funny Car for so many, growing up so much. But
from birth?
From birth. I came out of the womb at the racetrack. Don't tell anybody that. But
so did you wait for the yellow?
I did. I tried my best.
Don was conceived at the racetrack.
Yeah, so I spent a lot of time watching him, on TV shows, doing interviews, on radio shows, so on and so forth.
Is he out here?
You've got a big background.
I do, yeah. I mean, I spent a lot of time around my father growing up, just kind of studying, what he did driving. But I think the most significant thing that I learned is that there's so much more than actually just being on the track and driving. The driving percent of it. The other 90% is everything that surrounds it to get you out on the track, and the whole business side of it that encompasses racing. So that's a whole other element.
With your dad, he had his own team, obviously.
Yeah.
Did you help? Did you do any wrench growing up? Were you acclimated into a certain aspect car?
In a way, I'm not the most mechanically inclined person, to be honest with you. I mean, on our car, I just do the fuel and do the chutes and things like that. But I think I was more honed into the driving aspect of it and all the little details that go into driving.
The fun stuff.
The fun stuff, right, exactly.
So did you follow some of your dad's process of getting ready to get behind the wheel? Because I imagine you've got your own sequence of everything that you want to do before you get behind the wheel. Did you learn some of that from your dad, or have you kind of adjusted all of that to your own style now?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, a lot of it is my own style, but truthfully, I learned a lot from him. I think probably the most significant thing is to be non-emotional. So instead of getting, drag racing is an emotional roller coaster.
Thing with as much water as we've had has been cleaned off.
Hold my beer, watch this.
Exactly. So they're going to go down there and lay some rubber down for us, make sure that we have a good track, and then, I know all the teams are going to go out there and try and run a good run. We're hoping to get 2 sessions in today, but
we're all hoping.
We're all hoping. So hopefully we get this one in here soon, and I think we will.
Yeah. So, and you've already warmed up the car. So now you're going to just sit back and have a sandwich and a glass of milk, or?
Yeah, probably some turkey and cheese, maybe ham and cheese.
It's gonna go focus.
No, I'm gonna go. I'll probably spend some time with Mike Green up in the lounge, talking, looking at some stuff, and it's a big race, another big race for our sponsor, Smart Sanitizer. They're here for the weekend, so I want to spend a lot of time with them, and this is really their first foray into NHRA drag racing, and they have some stuff in other forms of motorsports, but NHRA offers a very unique platform with the.
Visit BaywayLincoln.com today. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, June 19th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free, and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupe founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, June 19th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday morning, June 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy. Inside the Loop, visit Tailpipes and Tacos on the Southwest Freeway at Shepherd, weather permitting.
NHRA Camping World Drag Racing. It's an 11,000 horsepower Nitro Rodeo coming to Houston Raceway Park in Baytown. Catch all the Nitro and Pro stock action at the Mopar Express Lane NHRA Spring Nationals presented by Pennzoil this weekend. Matt Hagan, Leah Pruitt, Erica Enders, 3-time world champ Steve Thorns, and 16-time himself John Force. Kids 12 and under are free in general admission. Get tickets at HoustonRaceway.com. Houston's got horsepower.
Don't miss the first ever Houston Summer Auto Show, May 19th through the 23rd at NRG Center. A limited edition collection of your favorite brands and models, including the new Ford Bronco and Jeep Grand Wagoneer. Tickets online only at HoustonAutoShow.com.
So we would normally play the Open down here, but we're so far behind, I thought, well, let's not just do that. And let me just tell you that this is the In Wheel Time Car Show, a very special show today because we're coming to you from Houston Raceway Park and the NHRA Spring Nationals. And we're over here in Baytown, and racing is underway, actually. And everybody's, oh, it's going to rain, and they're not going to have the races. Oh, yes, they are.
We have a dry slot right over the track.
Dry slot. Yeah, exactly. So thank you for joining us today. We've got another hour and 15 minutes because we're going to extend the show till 12 noon.
A 4-hour show today.
A 4-hour show today. And I have to tell you, the weather has jacked with us in a bad way.
The weather started getting rough.
The tiny ship was
tossed.
If not for the courage of the fearless crew,
the minnow would be lost.
In Wheel Time would be lost.
But we went on a 4-hour tour,
Yeah.
so that's why we broke
There
the
you
chain.
go.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, and now we're in a dry slot.
You're going to get that dry slot in.
We're going to get a hashtag dry slot.
If you got dry, you better put something on that to clear it up.
Yeah, that's right. I'm still trying
I'm not paying any attention.
Let's not
y'all.
go there.
Yeah. Well,
so who's up next?
Well, we're waiting for that person to show up. We understand that they're on their way.
They're on their way.
Okay. And so in the meantime and in between time, I can either do some news stories here, or we can break out one of your features. But I think that I have some more news stories that I want to get in here.
Here you go.
It'll allow us a little bit more time. NHTSA, National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, has opened a preliminary evaluation to assess potential issues related to a loss of power in the 2020 to 2021 model year Porsche Taycan electric vehicles.
That's their full electric.
The agency's Office of Defects Investigation has received 9 complaints from vehicle owners and 2 field reports alleging a loss of motive power while in motion at any speed without warning to the driver.
That's a scary thought.
Yeah.
So you heard that since we're here with Toyota, the 2021 Supra was named Performance Vehicle of Texas this year at the Texas Auto Writers Roundup.
I heard that. Yeah.
So congratulations, Toyota.
Mazda is discontinuing 2 of its slowest selling models. I mentioned this earlier, and I really wanted to tell you about it. The CX-3, the subcompact crossover, and the Mazda 6 sedan got the axe.
No mas.
No more mas. Mazda said in a brief statement Friday it will stop selling the CX-3 and the midsize Mazda 6 after the 2021 model year because of evolving consumer tastes.
Evolving.
Mm-hmm. In other words, they ain't selling any of those things.
Oh, boy.
Hyundai has lately had a lot to say about its ambitions in electric vehicles and advanced transportation technologies. Last week, it vowed to put its money where its mouth is. South Korean automaker said it will invest
Hyundai.
He wants to shake on it.
$7.4 billion in the U.S. by 2025 to produce a suite of electric vehicles, upgrade factories, and develop smart mobility technologies.
That means autonomous drivers.
And Hyundai is coming on strong.
Yep.
And Hyundai is launching a global battery electric brand that uses the Ioniq name from its current hybrid and EV hatchbacks.
I did the GV.
Well, while you're talking about Korean brands, South Korean battery maker SK Innovation is set to launch a battery joint venture here in the United States with Ford to ramp up the electric batteries for the new Ford F-150 Lightning.
Wow.
So they're joining together to build lots of batteries.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's pretty stout.
The Lightning made its debut last week.
Wednesday,
and the president was there. I don't quite understand all of that, but
neither did he.
He didn't even know where he was, did he?
If you look at the pictures, that was a driver's ed vehicle. There was a steering wheel where he sat, which was on the driver's side, and there was also a steering wheel on the passenger side. Yeah. So I guess
I missed that photo op.
Everything we heard was true. But this isn't that.
Moving on.
Yeah, we're not politically correct.
Well, you also heard that
we don't care.
A Dutch court ordered former Nissan boss Carlos Ghosn to repay his salary.
Yeah, good luck on getting that money out of that man's wallet.
I think he's still in. Isn't he still in Lebanon?
Yeah, he's
No, he's still in a suitcase.
Yeah, the suitcase. Yes, yeah, from once before. I don't know why they even bother. I mean, they've tried to nail everybody that had any affiliation with him, including the guys that provided the suitcases to get him out of the country.
Nobody cares anymore. It's like following the Kardashians.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Do you follow the Kardashians?
No.
You know, I'm proud to say I've never watched one episode of any of those.
Not
shows.
a moment.
Isn't one of them running for governor or something, or president? Something like one of
that
those?
would be perfect out there in California.
The mom,
the dad,
the mom,
no.
the dad, the
Bruce
Jenner. No, it's
Caitlyn
Caitlyn
Jenner.
Jenner. It used to be
Whatever.
Bruce Jenner. He used to be on the cover of Wheaties.
Yes.
He was. He was on the cover of
Yes.
Wheaties. Well, now he's a she.
Triathlete.
A biathlete.
Well,
What did you say? What did you call it?
A biathlete.
Well, wouldn't it be even bi anymore? Because I think that they got that
it's all the way
lopped off.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he did. I think
It's in a jar.
regardless, he's running for governor.
You would know.
People are eating.
I'm sorry.
You heard the Hummer EV is going to weigh 9,000
1,000 pounds.
Oh my gosh! And still go 0 to 60 in 3 seconds.
Yeah.
At
That's
9,000 pounds.
It's like taking a safe from the bank, putting wheels on it, and battery charging it and letting it go down.
Putting a top fueler.
Can you imagine
engine on it.
the damage it will do when it hits something?
It's like moving your mother-in-law.
Oh man.
Hello, Kathy.
Have you thought about that?
Well, I was thinking about what it would take to stop 9,000 pounds.
Well,
Big
it's like
brakes.
trying to stop a cement truck.
Well, once you let off the accelerator, it just decreases.
Well, not
Well,
necessarily.
it's going to have
it
regenerative
depends
braking.
on how fast you got to stop.
But it's still a matter of how much traction the tires are going to have.
We have a very special guest from the NHRA drag racing circuit, and her name is Alexis DeJoria. Hi, Alexis. It's so good to see you. I know we haven't seen you in a couple of years. Put that little headset on there. We've sanitized it for your protection. Yeah.
No, we've sanitized you for her protection.
Well, I need to be. That's
Don't
for
do
sure.
that. That's no fun.
That's no fun. How have you been?
I've been good. Thank you.
Yeah. How is the rocket ship doing?
Oh, man, we're doing really good right now. We're qualifying really well. The last race, we made it to the finals. We won every single quad that we ran in. We were just so close to winning. I think if all the candles were lit, it's a very good chance we would have won.
Did you
that
drop
race.
a couple cylinders?
At the step, we dropped one, and then about 400 feet, we dropped a couple more. So.
Yeah. That doesn't hurt. That doesn't
didn't
help
help.
the performance at all.
No, we were all like right about the same, leaving like 63, 64, 65 reaction times. So it was gonna be a good race.
how's the rocket sponsorship? I love your car.
Thank
the
you.
paint job, the scheme, everything about it is
Yeah.
like wow.
I like it too. You know, some people are like, oh, it's kind of boring compared to the stuff that you used to do. I actually like it. I think it really photographs well. It looks good on TV.
Absolutely.
You can't miss the rocket
No,
on the side of the
It
car.
shows the sponsor well.
Yes, it does.
That's the key.
And they're happy, so
That's
important.
who's your crew chief?
Del Worsham and Nikki
there you go.
Bonifani. So very, very lucky to have those two
No
guys.
kidding.
Yeah,
Some of the best in the business.
definitely.
Yeah.
And they're my friends, and I've worked with them from day one.
You know something that I found out about you? You've been drag racing a long time.
Kinda, not as long as some.
Well-
I didn't start in junior drags, but I started off in Super Gas just for a few races. But that 63 Corvette Roadster that I bought with my savings, it was on its last leg.
Oh, boy.
Had a couple races in, and it was just toast.
Yeah.
And then I moved up to Super Comp and raced that for like 8 months. and then the fuck. Oh, sorry.
That's okay. We'll survive.
Damn it. Sorry, kids. Don't listen to me.
It's all good. No worries.
It's all good.
But yeah, so then I went to Super Comp and did really well and won a Sportsman National and then made the jump. And it was a jump to top alcohol funny car.
Do you still have that
It took a while.
63 vet? Do you still have that?
Oh, God, no.
Okay.
No. I had to sell it and use that money towards the Super Comp car because
Don's got a vet.
It was a little pricey.
Yeah.
He's got one.
It was Steve Williams. He from Canon Filters. He builds a new one every 2 years, or at least he used to, and then he would sell it. So
you got in line for his hand-me-down, and sounds like you were successful with it.
Very.
Yeah,
Was some help from a really great family that had been racing Super Comp for a long time, the Robbins family, and they helped me out because I didn't know anything. I came out of left field. I just wanted to race, so I didn't really have any background in it except my dad racing what's it called, cannonball races, but that was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
He raced the cannonball?
A lot of them. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, in Europe and out here, just for it's just crazy times.
Are you still living in
It
Austin?
was the 70s and the 80s.
Are you living in Austin?
I am.
Okay.
Yep, I drove
Neighbors.
up today.
You did?
Yep.
Nice.
That's
nice
convenient.
to have.
Down.
Down,
Over,
whatever.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've
So
got
you
it.
left the craziness of NASCAR up there to come down here.
Yeah, well, they still get to run. Unfortunately, we don't. So
Well, you're
we're just
going
gonna
to
wait. Yeah, we'll get one round in.
Is it
For sure.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Yeah,
two.
they
Just
moved it up
depends
to
on-
noon, so that's why I was a little late. We had to
No,
warm
no,
the
no,
car
no,
up
no,
and
no,
get
no.
all that done. Race car first.
We're not the
So-
priority. That the car is.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you stopping by
Yeah,
and
thank you.
talking to us today. And congratulations on all of your successes.
Thank you.
How is the COVID thing jacked with you and your team and all that sort of stuff? How's that all come down?
Well, it was a hell of a year to come back, that's for sure. But luckily we got to run a lot of races, and it was kind of a nice transition back in, and I felt like I did pretty good. I didn't really miss a step. We all gelled really well. All these guys have been running for a long time, so yeah, we were actually pretty good.
How's J.R. Todd?
J.R. Todd he's a troublemaker.
No.
I could tell that.
When we were teammates, we really didn't get along at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Still don't.
I
Tell us
know.
more.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't really like him.
What people don't know that are listening.
I
and
love
watching,
JR.
JR
No.
is sitting to her right, about 4 feet away from her.
Tell
No,
me
he's my
tell me
buddy.
about your relationship with TRD and
Oh,
the
TRD.
Toyota bunch.
Yes.
How-
Toyota Racing Development. They are just incredible.
How do they help you?
In every way possible.
Yeah, really?
From the water grains in the air to the track surface to the air, whatever.
And that's
everything.
all TRD.
It is, and no other team out there has what they have.
Right.
I mean, we're really lucky to have their their knowledge, their brain trust right next to us, working with our teams. So,
Right.
yeah.
Well, and it lets your people focus on what they need to focus.
Exactly.
TRD brings in that data
Yeah.
that you just implement into your tuning
Right.
and stuff.
They
But it's-
basically bring us the information like this is what you could run.
Now you do your part and you'll run that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This is what we think is out there.
Yeah.
So.
And that's the part that can be a little tricky at times.
Yeah. Well, you still got to tune the car,
And Dell's been doing it for a while.
Yes,
been doing it since he was
obviously.
a extreme youngster.
Yes, and he taught me how to drive a nitro funny car. Him and Jeff Arend. So it's great to be able to work with him and and obviously like Nicky Bonifani, and so I feel very, very lucky to be with those guys.
When you have the team meeting before the next run, what's that like?
Just kind of telling me, like what's out there, what we're going to try to run. If the track's a little, slippery down track, if, it's gooey or whatever, if there's a bump or, if the groove goes a little bit out of, the middle, they'll just little things like that.
They're just trying to help prep you as a driver to get things ready.
And sometimes it's just like, just go out there. Everything's good.
Go have fun.
Just
Go ahead.
Yeah, just do your thing.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting the high sign from behind you.
Is it time?
That you might need to head that way.
They moved the session up 10 minutes.
I got to go.
So
We love you. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you guys so much for having me on your show. I appreciate it.
Thank
And just
you.
to follow up, I love J.R. Todd.
We know.
He's
We can
my
tell.
buddy.
We'll tell him next time we see
Okay.
him.
And I'm definitely going to go visit him in his new place in Florida. He's going to tell you all about it. Sorry. I just outed him. That's right. He's leaving Indy, guys. All right.
Thanks, Alexis.
All right. Thank you, Alexis DeJoria. We appreciate you stopping by. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to do a quick interview change, and we will be right back. This is the In Wheel Time Car Show coming to you live today from Houston Raceway Park and the NHRA Spring Nationals. Stay with us.
We all know about aftermarket and online parts stores, and each one has something to offer, but they don't offer original factory parts. That's where Bayway comes in. For original factory parts, visit the Bayway stores first. Give them a call or stop by. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevy, and Bayway Lincoln carry a complete line of parts for the do-it-yourselfer. Keeping your newer classic original means a lot, and you can count on these fully stocked parts departments to help keep it that way. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevy, and Bayway Lincoln, keeping it original. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, June 19th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free, and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto-mods. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupe founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, June 19th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday morning, June 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy. Inside the Loop, visit Tailpipes and Tacos on the Southwest Freeway at Shepherd, weather permitting.
NHRA Camping World Drag Racing. It's an 11,000 horsepower Nitro Rodeo coming to Houston Raceway Park in Baytown. Catch all the Nitro and Pro Stock action at the Mopar Express Lane NHRA Spring Nationals presented by Pennzoil this weekend. Matt Hagan, Leah Pruitt, Erica Enders, 3-time world champ Steve Torrance, and 16-time himself John Force. Kids 12 and under are free in general admission. Get tickets at HoustonRaceway.com. Houston's got horsepower.
Don't miss the first ever Houston Summer Auto Show, May 19th through the 23rd at NRG Center. A limited edition collection of your favorite brands and models, including the new Ford Bronco and Jeep Grand Wagoneer. Tickets online only at HoustonAutoShow.com.
Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In Wheel Time Car Show. Today coming to you from the NHRA Spring Nationals at Houston Raceway Park in Baytown, Texas, baby. We got more guests from the professional drag racing circuit still ahead. And we're going to have some auto news headlines and Lord knows what else. It ain't going to rain, though. Thank you for joining us today. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeffrey Zeke, and David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. Thanks for being with us today. And the In Wheel Time Car Show is sponsored by Toyota, the official car of the NHRA. Here's an NHRA Toyota driver, and his name is J.R. Todd. And, you know, there's a note here. It says, head of Toyota Motorsports Executive.
No.
That is definitely not me.
He's trying to finish my sentences like this guy always does.
No, I was trying
to guide me in the wrong direction. But at any rate, he's the DHL driver. So I was just trying to bump you up just a little bit.
Yeah, man, you might get me fired giving me a title like that. Shoot.
We've done that before.
J.R. Todd, how are you?
I'm good.
It's good to see you again.
Thank you. It's good to be back here in Baytown. It seems like it wasn't that long ago that we were doing this show compared to years past. But no, it's good to be back here in Texas, and hopefully that our word holds off, and we can get out there and make a couple laps today.
Yep. Well, I think that they've moved you up. I've been given direction that said you only have 7 minutes with him.
And that was 3 minutes ago.
Yeah, see, time's a ticking. But, yeah, I know that I'm laying in bed at the hotel this morning and got told, they moved up the session to noon. And then just a little bit ago, hey, we're going to move it up 10 more minutes if possible, if everybody's on time, just because of, weather possibilities and what have you. So got to give it up to Seth Angel and his staff at Houston Raceway Park. I mean, they're doing everything possible to get this thing in. And when I was driving in this morning, there was a big crowd of people lined up to get in this place. So that's that's good to see fans in the stands and smiling faces. You know, they're not wearing masks out here. That's been a change as well, so it's nice to see.
Welcome to Texas.
Antron Brown said good things about you. I don't know why, but he did.
Well, that's because we don't have to race against each other anymore, or else I probably would be saying good things about him because when I was racing Top Fuel, man, he wore me out like a bad habit. So it's nice to be in separate classes now.
So how are things over at the DHL Funny Car Coletta team?
Good, man. So far, we're second in points. We're less than a round out of the points lead, coming off of a runner-up finish last weekend there in Charlotte at the 4-wide. So hopefully we can keep that momentum going here this weekend. And we've won here in the past. It'd be another good place to win and just keep chipping away at that points lead. I mean, you want to be, you want to be leading the points ultimately. But if you can stay around that top 5 going into our countdown to the championship, ideally that's where you want to be. So we're in a good spot right now.
We want to repeat your experience with us a couple of years ago because you came on the show, you won the event, you won the championship. So that's the plan for this year as well.
I like that plan. You guys definitely have a good plan in place, and hopefully we hold up our end in that DHL Toyota Camry.
So what do you got for us?
I'll tell you what, if we win here tomorrow, you know,
love and affection.
You come over and celebrate with us in the winner's circle, get your picture taken. How's that?
How was your experience sticking Kyle Busch in your seat to start that car? That looked like a hoot.
It was cool. I'm glad he got to experience that. And, you know, he didn't know, but most people know us funny car drivers sitting behind that thing. The exhaust right in your face.
Right.
Like you wear a gas mask just because of the fumes and what have you. And I told him, like, you're not allowed to wear a gas mask. So we fired that thing up, and it's running for about 2 minutes, you know. And he's trying to hold his breath and breathe at the same time. He's choking, and you gotta get the full experience. I mean, you can't just sit there and wear a gas mask, or they probably wouldn't think that we're tough at all driving those things.
And basically straddling an 11,000 horsepower clutch pack.
Yeah,
drive
exactly. You got your
between
feet.
your legs.
You got your feet between the clutch there, and you can see the engine bouncing up and down in the frame rail. So he got the full experience, and he said about 10 to 15 more seconds of that warm up, and he was going to bail out. So I'm glad that he got to experience that.
That was cool.
How are the 4-wides? Tell me truthfully. Do you like the 4-wides?
I'm glad we're 2-wide racing this weekend, so I'll leave it at that.
It's too much. It's too much for a
It's
viewer.
overload. It's overload on TV.
Yeah, it's like to me, it's more of a novelty race. Like I wish we would do it for like big money, no points, something like that, kind of a shootout event where pack the stands and what have you. But as a fan, when I'm watching on the outside, I get confused on what's going on. There's 2 different win lights. One's blinking, one's not. You don't know who won, and just there's a lot to take in with 4 cars. I mean, there's a lot to take in when there's 2 cars running at 11,000 horsepower apiece, and then you add 2 more cars. It's just, as a driver, there's a lot you have to pay attention to on the starting line and what have you. But at the end of the day, you got to do what you always do: go up there and hit the gas when the yellow light comes on, and try to get to the finish line before the other person or other people do.
I have to ask you, as a driver that has gone from Top Fuel dragster to funny car, the difference in driving the car with a body and an engine in front of you as opposed to nobody and the engine behind you.
It's night and day different. I mean, I've driven dragsters from the time I was 10 years old back in 1993 up until the end of 2016. So you try to take those characteristics and everything over to driving a funny car, and it's a wake-up call, man. It slaps you in the face and humbles you as a driver. I mean, it was almost like I had to retrain myself over again. But, towards the middle of 2017, once we got into the summer, I started getting more and more comfortable in the car, trying to figure out what to do and what not to do. And I feel like I'm still learning behind the wheel of that thing. They never go out there and do the same thing twice. Where a dragster, 9 times out of 10, it's going to kind of do the same thing going down the track.
A little more consistency.
Yeah, and that's where you get comfortable knowing what it's going to do. In a funny car, it's like, it kind of shows you who's boss. You're just trying to tame it more than anything. But they're a lot of fun. They're challenging, and I kind of compare it to driving, like a dirt sprint car to a pavement car as far as a steering input.
How much movements?
Yeah, things like that. Just it's different, and they keep you on your toes, but I love it. I wouldn't change it for anything.
The funny car has a tendency to move all over the track as opposed to the dragster.
Yeah, just because it's the same amount of horsepower, basically the same components as the Top Fuel car. It's just shorter, it's heavier, the engine's in front of you, not as much downforce, and They're
and the wind probably affects it a little bit more, especially as you get past the
yeah,
stands.
it can a little bit. Just depends what direction the wind's going and what have you. But for me, the biggest challenge was visibility. You look so much further down track at the groove in the funny car compared to the dragster, where you're looking, maybe 100 feet in front of the car, where you can't do that in a funny car because you can't see it. So it takes some getting used to, but once it clicks, where you get that comfort feeling, it's a lot of fun.
Thank you so much for coming by. I know that they're all
We're getting
tapping.
Uh-oh.
They get itchy over there.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on. It's going to be a big weekend here for us this weekend. We got a lot of guests and sponsors from Mobile One, and we want to show off for them and hopefully celebrate with you guys in the Winter Circle.
Repeat what you did a couple of years ago with
Tell
us.
Connie Coletta we said hello.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys.
Thank you very much. J.R. Todd with the DHL Top Fuel Funny Car. I love this note passing thing.
Well, it's like
it's breaking news.
Excuse me. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. You guys go do your thing. We get it. Good luck to you out there. Okay, I'll let you do that. He keeps passing me notes,
Yeah,
but
we can't read your handwriting.
Well, there's that.
It's like we're in the 7th
I was
grade
gonna
and
say,
Mars
it's
is
like
passing
fourth
us
grade.
notes.
Is that one of those things you go like this?
Well, I tried that. And I couldn't get it past the
Couldn't get it to roll.
so we've got actually out on the track, they've got about 40 minutes before they start lighting them up out there. And it's going to be an interesting day. They've moved things up, trying to get all of the both qualifying sessions in.
And I think they just ran a bunch of alcohol cars. So again, putting some good rubber down on the track because that's important.
Well, and then they'll also prep the track with their sticky function when they get out there.
Spray the glue.
Spray the glue. And have you ever walked the track after they sprayed the glue?
Only after I tightened my shoes, because the first time I did it, which was probably back in '88 or '89, I literally stepped out of when we were.
Yeah.
It was after the race, and we were walking down and stepped right out of my shoe.
Yeah, I don't think most people don't have any clue or understand the glue method out there on the racetrack.
No.
Because, if you were to take a street car out there, it'd take the entire drivetrain and leave it behind you broken because it is so sticky. And you don't dare wear flip-flops on top of that.
Because then it's going to stick to the bottom of your feet.
Yeah.
And one time I was working for a magazine, and I had the pass. I was out there by the Christmas tree, doing the shooting and all that stuff. So I went out there, and they said I could go out on the track because it was one run. I was only using one lane. And I went out there literally, stepped out of my shoes.
Yeah.
But the guy's, he's coming up, and he's fixing to launch. So I'm out there. So I said, well, I'm just going to walk in my socks. Well, they ripped my socks straight off my feet, too.
Here's Mars in front of the guy doing a burnout, and here's the left shoe, the right shoe, the left sock, the right sock.
I mean, it was bad.
And everybody in the stands is laughing hysterically.
No doubt.
But I couldn't hear him because the car was so loud, so it was okay.
Yeah, well, at any rate. So I think that our next guest is here, and I will let you do the introduction. Howdy, sir, and welcome to the In Wheel Time Show. We appreciate you. And go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, so joining us now.
Oh, my God, he's stepping out of his shoes in
No,
here.
yeah, I am again.
It's all that liquor that he had before he came on.
No such luck.
I'm pretty intimidating, so what are you going to do?
Yes.
So joining us now is Paul Doleshaw.
Yes, sir.
Now, Paul is with the Toyota Motorsports. And, again, headquarters in Dallas, in Plano. You're Plano, right?
Welcome to Texas, by the way. We were real happy to see you guys, and I'm sure you were happy to get out of California to get to Texas. And
I was happy to get there. Yeah, I had a 3 or 4 year window there in California, so it was good to get back to a place where I had a little more space.
And no state income tax.
That was a good bonus. Yeah. That helped out a lot.
Where are you originally from?
Kansas City originally.
Are you?
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so you're not too far away.
Yeah, it was good
That's
to get
a day's
back to home.
drive. Yeah.
My entire career, I was either on the East Coast or the West Coast, so it was nice to get back in the center.
And since you're with Motorsports, then you everything. I mean, you're here for NHRA, but there's NASCAR going on this weekend.
Yeah,
and then y'all are involved in the Formula Drift. I mean, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, we got a lot going on this weekend. I just drove over from Austin, so our teams are all set up, ready to go. We got the Toyota Tundra 225 today, and then the Xfinity race, which they're finishing up qualifying for right now, so we're paying a little attention to that. And then, out here for NHRA, we love it. I was in Charlotte for the full wide last week, and then
wow.
So just see what the guys can do, dodge some weather hopefully, and get this stuff in, get qualifying in, and have a strong day.
Do you
tomorrow.
ever go
Be
home?
Fantastic. Yeah, I do a little bit. So
squeeze it in every once in a while.
Squeeze it in occasionally.
Yeah. So what is your job with TRD and Toyota?
So I'm on the Toyota marketing side. So my team handles everything from sanctioning bodies, track relationships, team deals, contingency, all of the at-track marketing, hosting, social, digital, all of that stuff is under my team. So I like to say TRD is our engineering side. They're the go. They make all the cars work. They do the aero and the chassis and all of that engineering. And then we're the show. So we're the banners and all the stickers and all of that stuff that goes throughout the weekend.
Things that people see.
All the stuff everybody sees, other than watching the cars go.
And both of you are the dough.
We both consume nice amounts of that, as my boss likes to point out. But yeah, we've had great success. We really love being out here. We're a lot of car people, and being out here with all these great car people and just experiencing motorsport is what we love to do and how we love to have a conversation with people. So it's fantastic.
20 years ago, who would have thought that Toyota would have been in American auto racing?
All of this.
Yeah, I mean, it's been
dominating.
Great. It's been fantastic, and I got to tell you, the public has been very receptive to us, and there's been some bumps, but everything's going fantastically, and I think it just gives people an opportunity to see us as a brand and who we are, and that we are car people, and we like hot rods. We like things that go fast. We do like performance and all of those things. We're not just the AB getting to the grocery store to get into work car. We have a little bit of everything for everybody, and so we really like to show that off and show some of the toys we make and all those pieces. But drag racing's been fantastic.
And Texas is truck country, and you guys build trucks in Texas.
It is right down the street, San Antonio.
Right.
So the only place in the world we make Tundra. It's been kind of a funny thing we've talked about, because when we do surveys and stuff, about 44% of the motorsports audience knows that we built the truck here, and I'm like, well, how can they not? It's the only place in the world we build Tundra. Like, there is not built in any other plant in any other part of the country is built in San Antonio. So we've really tried to struggle on how we change that message and get that out, because it's a big deal.
Aren't they also running Tacomas down the line in San Antonio?
Some. We've been moving that around a little bit, but to make more room for Tundra.
Yeah, yeah. And obviously Toyota sells a few cars now and then.
Just a few.
Yeah.
They race a lot of cars, too.
Yes, they do. And
it's cool to see the Supra coming into the Xfinity Series as well.
Yep.
They just named the 2021 Supra the performance car of Texas as well, so we're happy to ride that along with you guys.
Yeah, we're excited about Supra. It's been doing great in Xfinity. There might be some stuff happening in the NHRA side soon, so we'll see how that goes. I know Slugger was on earlier. I don't know what beans he spilled out.
He told us everything. Everything.
So you can just go ahead and talk about whatever you want. We already know.
Yeah, it's good.
Sounds like I'm getting baited in here. For sure.
It sounds that way.
Possibly.
Well, he was talking about wind tunnel stuff.
Let's talk about the weather.
Okay, let's talk about it. What? Because we've been in here since 6 o'clock this morning, so we don't really know. They won't let us out, nor should they. But have you looked at the radar? How are things looking?
I have not. I just got here from Austin.
That's why you came in.
I know I drove through a few different little sprinkles, but nothing was terrible. So hopefully we can get everything in today and get at least a few rounds of qualifying in and get to it tomorrow.
Seth was talking about this being a dry slot right down where the track is, so we're going to stay dry for the day.
I hope so.
Get both rounds in and hopefully see one of your TRD cars at the top.
So when you come to one of these races, what do you look for? What do you do?
Well, obviously we have our display going on outside, so we talk a lot about our product and engage with the fans and just try to show them who we are as a brand again and the people we are. This weekend we have a lot of executives in from ExxonMobil who are headquartered here in Houston, so we're couldn't be more proud of our relationship with Mobil and with Mobil One on the TRD side, and Doug Coletta's car is blazing those colors this weekend for us, and so we're super excited to have them here and just looking to grow our relationship with them. They've been our OE oil supplier for a very, very long time, but really just looking for other ways to engage and show our partnership. So
you're sharing the experience, with other people, and that's cool.
Yeah, and a lot of them, it's their first time to an NHRA event, so they're excited. And NHRA is definitely a special place to come. It's such a great community to be in. The interaction that the drivers have with the fans is fantastic. I mean, it feels like just a Friday night dirt track kind of environment.
Because it's
know,
so
all
hands-on,
the
yeah.
time. They're right there. And I love that. I love having ability for our guys and gals to be able to just get out and talk to people, and that's what it's about. I mean, we're a big family, big community. Motorsports fans and the participants, we're all part of the same family, and just to be out here and do this stuff is a blessing and a fun time.
Well,
so.
the Texas Highway Department wanted to welcome you by all of the construction that's going on around here. I'm sure that was a real treat trying to get in here this morning.
I did. I should have drove my TRD Pro Tundra instead of a TRD Avalon.
Yeah,
You might need it for the height to get out of here if it rains. But
yeah, well, we welcome you, and we thank you very much for stopping by and talking to us today.
So
Best of luck to
I
you.
have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
So you get, I mean, from your position, you get to do a little bit of everything. And I'm just, you're here at the NHRA. You just left COTA with the NASCAR bunch, and you get to go to the Formula Drift. Do you have a preference on any of them?
Man, that's like picking your favorite kid. How do you do that?
Yes, you can.
I guess my mom did, and it wasn't me.
When someone says who's your favorite child, you ask, do I have to pick from mine?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, that's true.
I think.
No, I'm just curious because it just amazes me. I mean, you get to go do so much.
Yeah, I think they're just all unique. I mean,
Favorite
the different things.
Favorite
we're in,
child.
You go to dirt tracks for our midget program. You go to Formula Drift, and there's such different groups of people and fans and the drivers and what's happening there.
And the interaction,
It's a great time to see all of that and to see how the different groups engage. You know, we obviously get to go to NASCAR and to NHRA, but it's really fun to go to some of the smaller stuff too and just see what's going on out there. And we're looking at, getting back into some off-road stuff here in the next couple of years, and just excited about it. There's a lot of opportunity out there.
Well, Seth was mentioning to us that he has a Friday night thing here and another deal called the TX2K, and that how much it has taken off, and the cars that are attracted to it. Guys with, what did you say, 2,000 horsepower Lamborghinis.
Some of the previous gen Supras coming out here with 2,000, 2,500 horsepower, running, high sevens, low eights in a Supra. It's just mind-boggling.
I've heard about that. We've been looking at some options there, maybe.
Yeah. Well, we're here to support
previous gen. We want to sell what you got on the street right now.
We could use your support as well.
We haven't got the B58 up to 2,000 yet. The drift guys are only at about 1,200, so they're still getting there. They're creeping up on it, but that would still be a fun run. So we've had a lot of inquiries about that, which we're just not ready. There's a lot of projects happening right now. We've got a lot of stuff happening. You guys saw probably the next gen Cup car. That's eating a lot of time. We've got a couple other things coming for next season.
You're spinning lots of plates.
Exactly it. Yeah. So it's just finding gaps in TRD's time to help engineer things and get going, and then obviously budget is always fun to find too. But
yeah, you're coming out of the COVID year, and now everything basically is busting loose all at the same time. So
it is, and
you don't really have a lot of prep time.
Yeah, and our finance team doesn't see it that way necessarily, so they don't want to give up.
They were just fine last year when you couldn't do anything.
They were. It's still about saving money and trying to, just prepare. Our company is very conservative, and so, making sure we have the funds to protect our family. It's very proud. I'm very proud of my company. Toyota has been fantastic to me. July will be 26 years with Toyota.
Really?
And,
congratulations.
Thank you. And we've been through a lot of stuff. I mean, through many things similar to COVID over the years. And the one thing that Toyota has always defaulted to is taking care of our team members and our associates, always, 100%, not a question. I have never seen us lay a plant worker off or anybody else. During COVID, we didn't produce a car for 3 months at all, like nothing happening. And we still pay everybody. We have them come to work, or, well, not COVID, but during other times we'll have them come to work. They'll go do park projects or work around the community and just do things to keep busy. But I'm super proud of that. And
that's awesome.
It's something that everybody should know, because there's so many people that just bounce for a paycheck or this or that. But I think the security that comes with a company like Toyota, has been really welcoming for me and my family, and I'm just very thankful for that opportunity.
Well, it's cool to see the loyalty on your part, but it's awesome to see the loyalty on their part. That going both ways is what makes Toyota great.
Yeah, it has been without fail over my 26 years, so it's been fantastic.
Well, Mike and I both have been involved with the Texas Auto Writers Association for many years, and I know that every time that we ever get a press car, which is weekly, it's always spot on. The people that handle the cars, spot on. When we go to any of the Toyota events, right on track, and they know how to handle the press. And that means a lot. And I think more so than most other manufacturers, they truly appreciate us as auto writers.
Yeah,
and
we got to see a lot of employees when you made the move from California out here, because we were interacting at that level, and how they were treated, and how not everybody made the move, obviously, but every one of them was just, they were thrilled with the way the company was doing.
Yeah.
And I think that serves the company well, because I don't hear anything about Toyota shutting down production lines because of chips and things. I mean, just that mindset of the way you handle the business.
Yeah, it's been there's been a lot of things to deal with, and the team overall, whether it be from our manufacturing side or from our marketing side or anything else, HR related or what have you, just the ability to just, okay, here's the situation, let's start to break down the problem and work through it and fix it, and or come up with the best solution. And
here's the root cause, let's get after it.
Yeah, you can start things on fire and run around like a crazy person, or you can just deal with what's in front of you, and I think that's the best thing about the company, is that's what we do.
Cool. Well, that's an interesting story. You were talking about how you've put your people out into the community, though they're not in the production process because of not shutdowns, but pauses
delays,
in production.
Yeah.
That I think that's a story you guys need to shout from the rooftops, because I was unaware of that.
Yeah, that's not our thing. I think we just do the right thing. You do the right thing, you don't need to talk about it.
Right.
It just it happens, and so that's just never been our way to toot our own horn or to do those things. But me being particularly proud of our company, I like to make people aware of those things, because I think it's important that they understand the DNA that we're all from, and that we come to this country and we work really hard for 65 plus years now, and do a lot of great things. And I think we are part of this the fabric of the U.S. and U.S. automotive
and you
environment
got some
anymore.
Monster Toyota stores in Houston as well, as far as size-wise, and they do an awesome job.
There's some big stuff. Gulf States Toyota down here does a great job for a long time.
And to the point with the community, I think the community knows that the Toyota goes in there. They're the ones that you get the benefit of it, so they're the ones that are appreciative. So I agree.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's great to see you.
Great. Thanks for having me on.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hopefully get some good qualifying.
I have to tell you, this guy right over here,
he needs to be on next.
Yeah, he's already said no. He's not going to do that. But he does such a great job for us, and gathering guests, and everybody's always. We wouldn't even know you if it weren't for him. So we thank him for doing such a great job.
Yeah, John's been doing a great job for us for a long time, and we appreciate it. And all the stuff I get from him every week, whether it be midgets or NHRA or whatever else he's going out and checking out for us. I mean, I don't know when he sleeps. He's got to have more miles than anybody in the country right now.
And to deal with this change of schedule today, and we had everything all laid out. These are the drivers, these are the times, and he told me this morning, he said, it's all blown up, and so throw your schedule out that you had, because it's not going to happen that way. And of course we understand, and that's fine. But to be able to move your feet and be able to do and deal with all of that is a testament to him.
Yeah, this is definitely a shoot the gaps weekend, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So let's try to get this in.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Paul.
Great to be here. Appreciate you guys and what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Paul Dolshell, he is head of Toyota Motorsports and with Toyota, and we appreciate all of the stuff that he's done. Thank you, sir. We've got a couple of other news stories that I wanted to get in, and some other stuff that you have. I did want to mention that Kia Motors America has issued a new fix for more than 440,000 vehicles that were recalled last year because of the possibility of leaking brake fluid that can lead to fires, or as we like to say, thermal events. That will, whether they were parked or people were driving them. The affected vehicles in the U.S., Kia Optima sedans from the 2013 to the 15 model year, and Kia Sorrentos from 14 to 15.
Go to safercar.gov, put in your VIN number, and they will tell you if your car has been.
And your VIN number is on your insurance card, so you can just go onto your insurance card and put the VIN number in. Are we getting the boys in?
I'm getting the boys over here.
Oh.
So Jeff's in the corner.
Always.
Where he belongs.
Yeah. So Jeff's back over here, and Mr. Ainsley is over there. And
We're
Mr.
just gonna leave
Ainsley,
it
by
on
the
for the
way,
next
you know,
30
he's got a
minutes.
new title. He's our transmission specialist.
That's right.
Oh.
Transmission
And
specialist.
if it weren't for him, we wouldn't have been on the air this morning.
He
Just
plugged-
saying.
It was a tough morning this morning.
He
It was
plugged it in.
Yeah. So thank you for being you. And don't go change
and doing all you
to try
do.
to please me. All right.
Yeah.
I did want to mention the fact that
The Nitro Harleys are running in the
Yeah,
background.
I can see that on the TV over there.
if you'd like to get in touch with us anytime, shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. And the In Wheel Time Car Show will also stream for you.
Upstream?
Not sing, but stream for you on
Upstream.
Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts available at your favorite podcast provider. And the In Wheel Time Car Show will continue right after these brief messages. Stay with us.
We all know about aftermarket and online parts stores, and each one has something to offer, but they don't offer original factory parts. That's where Bayway comes in. For original factory parts, visit the Bayway stores first. Give them a call or stop by. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevy, and Bayway Lincoln carry a complete line of parts for the do-it-yourselfer. Keeping your newer classic original means a lot, and you can count on these fully stocked parts departments to help keep it that way. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevy, and Bayway Lincoln, keeping it original. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, June 19th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free, and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto-mods. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupe founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, June 19th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday morning, June 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy. Inside the Loop, visit Tailpipes and Tacos on the Southwest Freeway at Shepherd, weather permitting.
NHRA Camping World Drag Racing. It's an 11,000 horsepower Nitro Rodeo coming to Houston Raceway Park in Baytown. Catch all the Nitro and Pro Stock action at the Mopar Express Lane NHRA Spring Nationals presented by Pennzoil this weekend. Matt Hagan, Leah Pruitt, Erica Enders, 3-time world champ Steve Torrance, and 16-time himself John Force. Kids 12 and under are free in general admission. Get tickets at HoustonRaceway.com. Houston's got horsepower.
Don't miss the first ever Houston Summer Auto Show, May 19th through the 23rd at NRG Center. A limited edition collection of your favorite brands and models, including the new Ford Bronco and Jeep Grand Wagoneer. Tickets online only at HoustonAutoShow.com.
Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In Wheel Time Car Show, your weekly go-to all things automotive place. Today coming to you from the NHRA Spring Nationals at Houston Raceway Park in Baytown. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeffrey Zekin, and the fabulous transmission specialist, David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. Today's show is sponsored by Toyota, the official car of the NHRA. And a big thank you to John Procida for helping us get all of those wonderful drivers in here.
Great.
And
great.
he does a very good job.
Yes.
And we thank him for all of his help.
What would we do without him?
Despite juggling all, or as you like to, keep the plates twirling.
Yep, keep the plate spinning.
And,
balls in the air.
And as I mentioned,
Mine are.
the problem today was the weather, and they moved the qualifying session up. Qualifying session today was originally scheduled for 12:45, which would have gotten all of our drivers in, and I would have been able to use all of my prep work that I had done at the times that they were scheduled to be on.
But no.
Throw that out the
Out
window.
the window.
That ain't happening. So it's been a real challenge.
Look at all these people in here. This is filling up real fast.
Well, it is lunchtime.
It is.
And
not quite, but yes.
We'll be joining them soon.
And they're coming in here to satisfy themselves, refuel, because it's going to start in about 30 minutes.
Well, they're starting. I think the Pro Stock's already run. That's the reason Eric couldn't make it.
Pro Stock's the Pro Harley.
Mod.
The Nitro Harleys
just ran.
Pro Stock is just first pair is going out right now.
Yes, I can hear them. It's funny that you can hear the. I can tell the sound of the engine.
Different classes.
To determine what it is.
Yeah, well, in the pro classes anyway.
Yeah. Well, when the Nitro cars come, then it's like somebody punching you in the chest.
Yeah. Yes. And they'll be here soon.
Yeah.
So at any rate, I did promise one driver that unfortunately was unable to make it, Erica Enders, our 4-time NHRA Pro Stock champ. She won the championship in 2014, 2015, 2019, and again last year in 2020.
4-time.
Yep. And by the way, Erica was born in 1983. Just wanted you to know that. She got into junior drag racing in 1992. She was the NHRA Rookie of the Year in 2000. In 2003, a movie was made about her and her sister Courtney, a Disney movie called Right on Track. And I haven't checked lately, but last time I looked, it was still the most watched of all of the Disney movies ever.
Huh. Really?
Yep.
I did not know that.
Yep. Have you ever seen it?
More than Snow White?
Yep. Well,
real movie, not
animated.
Not animated. And that was a different era. But in today's era, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. 2019, she had to deal with a terrible fire in a Pro Mod that she was driving for Elite Motorsports. I did not know that. I did not see the actual fire when it took place, but it burnt the car down. And
you
she
can
escaped.
see it on YouTube.
No, it's not on YouTube. I looked.
Okay.
The aftermath with the fire is on YouTube, but not the actual fire itself. She's currently second in points in Pro Stock, right behind Greg Anderson.
You should just stay in there. You know, kind of watch and
Well,
see
you
what's
got
going on.
you got to hang in there close.
Yep. Don't let them get too far out.
Boy, I smell food.
Yeah.
I do too.
And I'm hungry.
It's been a long day.
It has been already, and we're only halfway there. So, at any rate, we wanted to do another feature that I had teased, and that was Today in History. We like Today in Auto History.
Today in automotive history. And Jeffrey's got some pictures to go with
I've
this.
got pictures.
In 1899, now you know I got to get these in. Oldsmobile Motor Works.
Oh my God! How did we know that?
By the merger of Olds Motor Vehicles and Olds Gasoline Engine Works. To create Olds Motor Works.
Whatever.
In 1914, Irwin Cannonball Baker began his record-setting cross-continental run on a motorcycle. After the trip, he was given the nickname Cannonball.
Once they got him out of the hospital and got his back fixed.
Yeah, his kidneys.
And he rode coast to coast on an Indian motorcycle in 11 days.
I love Indian motorcycles.
Nice story.
In 1967, Don Perdome, then 26, popularly known as the Snake, drove a modified Ford and became the first dragster to run the quarter mile in less than 7 seconds.
Huh.
You know, and now we've got door slammers running in less than 7 seconds.
You got motorcycles do 200.
But he was actually running a Ford Camry motor at the time with a big blower on it. If the pictures are online to see.
Yep, he's in there.
And then in 1991, again, I have to get this in, Harry Gant, at age 51, broke his own record to become the oldest man to win a NASCAR race when he won the Winston 500 at Talladega, driving what? An Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme.
We knew
it was coming.
And I loved Harry Gant, Skull Bandit.
Yep. For years, that was his primary sponsor. Right. And then Roberto Guerrero in 1992, Colombian race car driver, set the qualifying record for the Indianapolis 500 by going 232 miles an hour in what? a
Buick.
V6, a stock block Buick V6.
I knew that because it says Buick on the side of the car.
You have to learn how to pronounce that, though.
Buick.
It's called a Buick.
Buick.
It's a
And then
Buick.
In 1994, was the opening of the Channel Tunnel, or the Channel, between Great Britain and France, was this week in automotive history. The Channel.
Is that like brunch?
It's still open, right?
Oh yeah. And you can.
It's kind of like the Washburn Tunnel. I think they designed it after the Washburn.
Yeah, but
Tunnel.
you don't drive through it. It's a train that goes through it. You load your vehicle or your lorry on the train to get into France. Now, one of the other things I wanted to mention this week in automotive history, and there's no picture for this, Toyota Motor Company announced its plans to produce a gasoline-electric hybrid version of the Toyota Camry. And it was the first gasoline-electric hybrid built at the company's Georgetown, Kentucky plant, again becoming the first hybrid electric model built in the United States.
Huh.
Toyota led that charge and continue to lead that charge with their Synergy Drive. That was the platform in the Prius that has now moved to pretty much everything Toyota sells.
Mm-hmm. What are you doing?
Playing.
Oh, I have no idea what he's doing. So that was, I'll give you one more, and this was in 1903. George Wyman became the first person to make a transcontinental trip across the United States in a motorized vehicle. Wyman's trip was made on a 1.25 horsepower, 90cc California motorcycle, kind of like riding on a lawnmower, basically, a small lawnmower. And from San Francisco, it took him 50 days to get to New York City.
Oh my God. And buying, gas to fill up the gas tank for a nickel, a swallow.
A swallow. Well, the Swallows returned to Capistrano. That's further south than San Francisco.
We've mentioned this earlier in the program, so never mind if you heard it before. The new GMC Hummer EV pickup truck is going to weigh 4.5 tons.
Heavier than the military version of the H1.
And it's going to start at $112,595, including shipping. Do you really care how much shipping costs when you spend $112,000? I don't. Who cares?
Well, they're going to ship it electrically, aren't they?
I don't know. Probably ship it on a train or something stupid.
No, it's going to be a gas hauler truck.
Facing pressure from new rivals trying to stake a claim in the burgeoning battery electric pickup market, Ford Motor Company designed the 2022 F-150 Lightning to do what its gasoline-powered counterpart has done for decades. That's outwork and outsell all the competitors. Ford is hoping that a bold starting price of $39,974 before shipping will help win over EV people.
Oh, I think it will. I hear buzz right now.
We had Buzz on yesterday. Buzz the
Lightyear.
Not Buzz Lightyear. Buzz the evangelist.
Yeah. Oh, look who's joining us.
I coaxed her. I said only the
favorite child
would do this. Yeah. I said don't let me call Katie.
So what if Katie is watching?
Then she needs to come on down.
Katie's still asleep.
She's
snowboarding.
Totally still asleep.
She's snowboarding.
She's still asleep.
So this is my oldest daughter, Amanda Armstrong. We call her Amy for short. And she is joining us now on the In Wheel Time show, I'm proud to say.
Hi,
Thank
Dad.
you. Hi, baby. How are you?
I'm fabulous.
Are you?
Yeah.
Did you make it out here okay?
Record timing.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Like your dad.
It wasn't bad at all.
That's good. Good.
Driving through the rain?
No.
Oh, good.
I mean, it sprinkled a little bit when
Not
we first.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad.
Well, so let's talk about your car.
Yes.
Wait, I want to ask, is this your first time out at the drag strip?
No.
Definitely not.
Just making sure. We need to get that out.
I was just talking about that, and my dad and I, back in the day, actually have a picture of he and I standing in the middle of the two cars when you could still do that.
Yeah.
Right behind the stage lights. And both of our hair was standing on end.
Wow.
It was a great picture.
Cool.
You need to send that to me. Or
I
no,
do.
send it to your sister so she can
send it to
Yeah,
me.
so she gets print it out.
No, but she needs to send it to my my picture frame.
Oh yeah.
So I can see it occasionally.
Yeah.
Because that electronic picture frame he has only has pictures of Katie in it, so he'd like to have.
No,
at
it
least-
doesn't.
Right.
No,
Right.
it does not.
No, it's got
pictures of you in there.
Sure, it does.
Katie and
Katie
Suze.
controls it. That's why she can send
Katie
it to
controls it exactly.
Katie and Suze.
Katie and Suze. That's right.
the important people.
These are the important
That's right.
people in my life. Yeah.
We're not.
No.
No.
Send it to me.
I will.
Yeah. You'll draw mustaches on it and put it up
No,
there.
we'll run it through George.
Yeah,
Skelton.
George will do that.
Oh, God. Yeah, no. George, I know that you're watching. Don't
Yes, he
touch
was.
it. Or as I like to say, don't twitch it.
Don't twitch it.
So your car.
Yes.
What year is your Dodge Challenger?
It is a 2015.
2015, black on black Challenger, automatic with a 6-cylinder in it. And, she wanted a V8, and I said, why? This has got more horsepower than you've ever had before in your life.
Even though my first car was a 93 Z28 Camaro. He started me off with a Z28. And now he won't let me.
Well,
He won't let me get any faster.
In 93, your Challenger has more horsepower than it did in 93.
Yeah.
That's true.
That is true.
That's true. Yeah.
And I told you that.
Yeah.
See, he didn't lie.
That 93 Camaro Z28 wasn't all that.
Oh, but it just sounded so good.
It did look good, and it did sound good.
Yeah.
So was
That's
that
half the battle.
your
As
high
long
school-
as you don't have to
your
hit the
high
red
school
lights,
car?
you're good.
That was my high school
That was a
car.
cool high
that
school
was
car.
It was
Thanks,
a really
Dad.
cool high
And
school
not
car.
only that, and something that we entered her into a contest or something, and she won
a parking spot.
Yeah, right up
I
front.
won a parking spot for my, I guess it was my senior year.
Do you still have that today?
St. Agnes?
St. Agnes,
Yep.
yeah.
Do you have this parking sign?
Of course I do.
Do you still have the spot today, or you put the sign back out?
Unfortunately, no.
I used to referee St. Agnes's water polo games.
I didn't know that.
way
Yeah,
back
he
in
did
the
that, and the horse died, though, drowned.
rim shot. We need to get a rim shot on your
No, we
picture.
don't. We don't need any more sound effects. The bell is more than I can handle now. That's why it's not here.
So give us a good story about your dad, where he was there for you.
You
at
can
that
make
time
believe
of
it's got
need.
something to do with cars, and they just kind of go off the track and make it whatever you want.
Well, the story that I always tell is that my dad raised me like the son he never had, right? So I was 4, 5, 6 years old going to Big H. It is not Big H anymore.
No, but
But
What was Big H? It was a
Big H
track.
was roundy round. It was a
Okay.
dirt track.
Houston Motorsports Park, and back then it was a
Houston
quarter-mile
Motorsport.
dirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Throwing
And-
clods.
Yeah, and we'd go on a Saturday night, and we'd watch the races until 11 o'clock, and we'd drive all the way back home to Sugar Land, and of course, that was in the summer, and then we'd do the rodeo thing, when the rodeo came to town, and then he was always into NASCAR, so we'd, watch the NASCAR races and all that good stuff, and I got dragged along to all the auto shows and anything that he wanted to go to that had
You were there.
to do with cars.
Teach how
Yeah.
to drink beer and all that?
No.
She
Not
learned that
really.
all on her own.
I did. I did.
A St. Agnes girl.
Imagine that.
Famously so.
Playing water polo.
Famously so, yeah. And so he was into NASCAR the very beginning of my life, and then we upgraded to NHRA. I guess I was about college, and he discovered
And then
NHRA.
they got a job in NHRA.
Yeah.
Got a job in NHRA, and we've been hooked ever since. And the friends that he's met, that I've met, that have become very close to us. I mean, it's an extended family out here.
Right.
well, a lot of
really
people have
is.
used that terminology today about the family that's involved in all this and how well
really
people get
is.
along.
It really is, and just down to earth, good time. I told my boyfriend, who's with me today, I was looking forward to the burgers because they have a burger stand out here.
Yep.
You have to get a burger when you come out here.
Yep.
So.
And I'm sure that they're out here.
Yeah.
There's one over here and one over there, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're yeah.
Yeah.
So-
The burgers are good. You have
Yeah.
to wait in line to get them.
You do. The lines but they go through pretty fast, and you spend a day out here and you actually get to walk up.
stuff.
You get to do stuff. You get to interact with the drivers and the crew,
Right.
and you get to walk up to everyone and say hello, and it's a really cool experience.
Yeah,
out
everybody's
here.
so
It really
approachable,
is.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And-
Absolutely.
And generally, very, very nice. I mean, even as you're going through the pits, they'll all give you time and stop to talk to you, which I always thought was kind of neat because at a NASCAR or an IndyCar event, you can't even get near them because they're all behind fences.
Well, in NASCAR, you can sort of pseudo go through the garage. You're behind glass, like you're in a cage.
But that takes an expensive pass to get through that gate.
That's right.
You
There
know,
are
in
different-
NHRA, they're right there.
Right.
You
There's
can
different
go
levels in NASCAR.
You can go stand in the pits and get sprayed with nitromethane
Isn't that great?
while they're
Absolutely.
warming
that's
up a
awesome.
car.
Yeah.
That's
At the
good
end of the
stuff.
day, you're if you get close enough, you'll be covered in rubber
I
from
know.
head to toe
I
and smell like nitromethane.
Only if you're lucky.
Only if you're lucky.
David
right.
plans on doing that later.
Right? Taking a little
I thought David
nitro
covered
bath.
I thought David covered himself in latex.
Oh yeah.
Terrible.
Poor David.
You know, you
paybacks
can
are
pick your
gonna be-
friends. You can, that whole thing. No.
Pick your nose.
Here, smell my finger.
Oh,
I know where you guys live.
So gross.
So how are you been? It's been a while since we had it.
Your
Your
dad
dad hasn't changed,
No,
has
he
he?
definitely
Yes.
has not changed, and he never will.
No.
Never will.
There are certain things.
He was a
that you're not-
7-year-old back in the 50s, and he still is in his 70s.
100%.
Well, and Mike asked for a good story, whether it was
Right,
you
we
got what you
started
wanted.
off with the cars, and we
Yep.
go wherever we need
and
to
you
go.
told her
Yeah.
to venture off.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've drug her to pretty much every race that there's known to man.
that's right.
So how many miles are on your Challenger now? You got an idea?
47.
Oh, that's nothing.
It's nothing.
That really is
It's
nothing.
nothing.
And it's a 15?
It's a 15. It just turned 6 years old.
Wow.
And it's in wonderful shape. It's still beautiful.
Put tires on it yet?
New tires.
Okay.
New
needs-
brakes.
I knew he was doing the brakes in the driveway.
Try.
Yeah,
it.
try.
I don't know if
Try.
it ended there, but
Try.
Well, we were all there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah. The pads were too small.
yeah. They gave you the wrong pads. The
Correct.
parts out.
Even though it said these are the pads for the car. No, they're not.
Nope.
Way to go.
Nice.
Thanks a lot.
well.
you don't want to name the parts brand
No,
that did it?
no.
No.
They're involved in NHRA?
But there was a wrench. The torque wrench was.
No.
That was somebody
that whole
else.
story. That was Craftsman Tools. So with the lifetime warranty, not. There's no lifetime warranty with
Well,
those people.
Craftsman's out of business, so the lifetime warranty went out with it, and they were bought by somebody else.
Yeah, well, good luck to them in trying to salvage that.
I don't know. Is Craftsman out here somewhere on somebody's car?
Yeah, probably.
Seems like it is.
Yeah. Well, it
We
was
should have
for
brought
a
the
while
wrench.
anyway.
We'll bring the wrench tomorrow.
We should have brought the wrench.
We should have brought the wrench.
But no, I want to keep the wrench. One of these days, I'm going to do something with that wrench.
Trade
like
it.
break a window or something at an
Hang
old
it, hang it
Sears
on
store.
the wall like it's like a gun mount or something, and hang it up there.
No.
A little
No,
plaque
no.
underneath it.
Yeah, it's a little deer leg.
Your dad doesn't hold grudges for long either, does he?
He. It depends.
He
It
may,
depends.
He may forgive, but
If
he
it's-
never forgets.
If it's with his daughters, I mean,
Oh, you
it's
guys-
gone. It's gone the next day.
I was gonna say, you guys are always forgiven.
But
Yeah.
you two ladies wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do something that he would hold a grudge.
Never. Never.
I taught them well. Yeah.
Yeah, I taught him to
Yeah.
lie.
I taught them how to lie.
Right.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah. Yep.
Well, it certainly has been a fun day out here at,
Yes, it has.
It has been an exciting, well, I was going to say, it has been 24 hours.
Yeah.
Because yesterday we did a 3-hour special broadcast, a Friday broadcast that we've never done before.
Noon to 3.
Noon to 3
That
out
was
at
fun.
the Houston Auto Show.
That was fun.
And that show continues today and again tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the broadcast is concerned, if you missed it, we are going to play that broadcast back next Saturday. because we are going to have a rare, and I do mean rare, Saturday off.
Not medium rare, not medium well, but a rare.
I think it's been almost 2 years
since we've had a day off.
Don't tell David.
We took a Saturday off.
David's going to show up.
We didn't even take off at the start of COVID, did we?
Nope.
No, we did not. We never missed a beat.
We lived in our own little bubble.
So we wanted to, play the show. We had
some good people to talk to.
Yeah,
So we had to share it with
it was really a good show.
Saturday audience.
So we were kind of conflicted because NHRA moved this race to this April date, May date. Normally it would be in April,
Right.
and so we thought, okay, what are we going to do? We can't do both. So the car show's open on Friday, so let's just do a show from there and do a 3-hour special. And then I thought, well, why just do it once? I mean, we'll play it back next Saturday too. So it'll get a double dip.
So we had 7 hours of in-wheel time this week, and
you've
all enjoyed it.
I have.
Right?
It was.
Who are you pointing to?
Talking to our viewers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wave.
Yeah.
Who do you think I was talking to?
Well, I don't know. You pointed over there. I thought you were pointing at those poor people.
Well, they enjoyed it as well.
I hope so.
You have company.
Oh,
now.
look.
Hi.
This is Ella.
Hi, Ella.
Hi, Ella.
This is Ella's first time
At the drag
races, so it's a little overwhelming. But
Oh,
we
she
think
got her earplugs,
we think,
too.
Yep,
Yeah,
she's
we
ready.
think she'll get used to
Hey,
it.
Ella, it's not loud yet.
No.
The loud cars are still ahead of us.
And you
you definitely want to put your earplugs in for
Yes, you're definitely going to do
and
that.
to a degree, probably the first couple of them, cover your ears.
And
it is that loud.
Walk through the pits. That's always
Yep.
fun.
We're going to do all
We're gonna,
of that.
yeah, we're gonna go try and see Erica and
Yep.
some other racers and.
Yeah,
we'll
she's
have
kind
a
of
good-
running right now, I believe.
Yep.
Or pretty close here.
Yeah.
Is she?
Soon.
Yeah, I think
Hopefully.
that's the pros.
Yeah,
Yes,
Stock
that's
cars.
pro
Pro
stock.
stock's up.
Yeah, all of these are pro stock cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, we are kind of wrapping things up here.
Yep.
So anyway, thank you very much for being part of our broadcast today. We will not be here live next Saturday, but we will be
On the air.
We'll be on the air, and we'll play back the Houston Auto Show broadcast that we did yesterday. And I think that you'll really enjoy it.
But next weekend, when we invite you to go to Reliant Energy Center,
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't show up.
Well, you can.
I think we're going to invite you quite a few times during the show.
But the tickets are still $12.
and parking.
Yeah.
And the kids are free.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why don't you do something here? I've got to do this first.
Ella wants
okay?
to say hi. Say hi, Ella.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you for coming.
Are
So,
you having fun? Yeah.
Yeah.
well, racing calendar goes, this weekend here at Baytown for NHRA.
Right.
June 13th is the Tasca Parts New England Nationals up in New England. In the 27th, Summit Racing Nationals in Norwalk, Ohio. And then on the July 18th, the Dodge SRT Mile High Nationals at Bandimere Speedway, which is always a challenging race because the tuners got to figure out how to run at altitude. NASCAR, tomorrow, the Circuit of the Americas is going to have their first ever NASCAR event.
Yep.
No, not first ever Cup event. They're running Truck today, and they're running Infinity today. And then on the 30th, the following weekend, is the World 600, which is the longest NASCAR event on the track. And then on June 6th, they're going to be at Sonoma. And then on June 20th, they're going to be at Nashville Speedway. And they haven't been at Nashville Speedway in quite some time.
Yeah, it's been long.
Early tomorrow morning, is the Monaco Grand Prix.
Yep.
That's always fun to watch. And
I already
then-
know who won.
You already know who won. They
Yeah.
haven't run it yet.
Well, Hamilton.
Oh, well, that's true. Well, I don't know. The street course might make a change.
My
there.
son was so disappointed. His guy ran in the lead the whole race of the last three laps, and then you know who came and won it.
And then on IMSA is going to run the Detroit on Belle Island on June
Belle
the
Isle.
6th. Belle Isle.
Go ahead.
June the 6th. On June the 27th, there will be at Watkins Glen International. IndyCar runs June the 13th at Belle Isle. And then on June the 20th at Road America.
All right. You got everything done that you need to get done? How about you?
I'm good.
How about you? You good? Good.
How about you, Ella?
I am too.
You good?
Ella's good. So
Yeah.
we're going to take a quick break and be back and say goodbye to everybody. So stay with us here on the In Wheel Time Car Show.
We all know about aftermarket and online parts stores, and each one has something to offer, but they don't offer original factory parts. That's where Bayway comes in. For original factory parts, visit the Bayway stores first. Give them a call or stop by. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevy, and Bayway Lincoln carry a complete line of parts for the do-it-yourselfer. Keeping your newer classic original means a lot, and you can count on these fully stocked parts departments to help keep it that way. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevy, and Bayway Lincoln, keeping it original. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, June 19th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free, and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupe founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, June 19th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday morning, June 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy. Inside the Loop, visit Tailpipes and Tacos on the Southwest Freeway at Shepherd, weather permitting.
NHRA Camping World Drag Racing. It's an 11,000 horsepower Nitro Rodeo coming to Houston Raceway Park in Baytown. Catch all the Nitro and Pro stock action at the Mopar Express Lane NHRA Spring Nationals presented by Pennzoil this weekend. Matt Hagan, Leah Pruitt, Erica Enders, 3-time world champ Steve Torrance, and 16-time himself John Force. Kids 12 and under are free in general admission. Get tickets at HoustonRaceway.com. Houston's got horsepower.
Well, that's it for this In Wheel Time Car Show Extra from the NHRA Spring Nationals at Houston Raceway Park in Baytown. Hey, when you're on Facebook, please give us a like, tell your friends about us, and share your junk. You'll get Conrad's unicorn hunting features along with all things automotive all week long. The In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and on InWheelTime.com. Podcasts are available from your favorite podcast outlet. Special thanks to all of our guests today, and especially to John Procida with Toyota Racing. The In Wheel Time Chief Engineer is Mr. Transmission David Ainsley. Our Marketing Manager and Video Technical Director is Jeffrey Zekin. For Booking Agent and Podcast Man Mike Out of This World Mars, his royalty King Conrad DeLong, Don Armstrong here. Be sure and join us each and every Saturday for our 3-hour live broadcast across a multitude of audio and video streaming services right here on the Smoke and Mirrors Network. So long for now, and have a super fast weekend.